And we are live! Lehoma, Washana, Washabao. Nihongo skutanai just no, wakamashimasu. Doko denki desu ka? Nihongo, Hong Kong. Yes, you're with your boy Timmy T in the house in HKT. This is the place to be. And we are talking all things Lego. And today's topic for those playing at home is, have you ever stuffed up a build or stuffed up timing in the planning of taking your builds to a show or any other monumental stuff up you can think of in Lego related operations? Tonight on the panel, I am joined by a fellow New South Wales man himself, RRB.
Up the Blues. Up the Blues.
Up the Blues, go the Cockies. I have a very good friend, good old Phil, a.k.a. Darkside Brooks. May the force be with you.
Howdy, everybody. And yes, go the Blues because I'm originally a New South Wales person.
Yeah.
And ABC, the mother of streams, the wonderful lady that she is.
Mother of streams.
Yes, the mother of
all
streams. The wonderful person, the bubbly personality, and the very creative builder that she has done Micropolis builds, which we are in awe of. How are we? What's going on?
I was going to say Mother of Streams. Is that like Mother of Dragons?
I was being nice and happy and friendly tonight.
It's just that when you set Sheree on fire, she doesn't get naked.
Wow.
or survive.
Oh, Phil.
Good thing.
Phil.
Okay,
oh,
then.
my God. Oh, my God.
Okay, then.
Oh, my God.
I don't watch football, so go then. Who cares?
Yeah.
That's the right
Yeah,
answer,
actually, that's true. That's true. That's the right answer, yeah.
If it's not blue, then there's no colour. You're wearing the right colour shirt. That's the main thing.
Yeah.
Well, let's put it this way.
Okay,
In the state of Origin at work, I do not wear any colours. I just wear my uniform.
Oh, so you do it.
Let's say that. Screw the Maroons.
So you do the Queen of Dragons.
It's the Mother of Dragons.
Whatever, but you don't wear any colours is what I was getting at.
Oh, very funny, guys.
Ha 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 ha.
Hey, I'm tired. Leave me alone.
No, that's no excuse.
Woody Woodpecker.
Woody Woodpecker, yes.
Ha 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 ha.
Anyway,
back to Lego.
What Lego?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm glad you asked. This Lego.
That's not what we talk about here.
This is what we're talking about.
I wasn't expecting to segue you.
Oh, well, I jumped right in. Anyway, yeah, so I think I'll kick the ball off with a topic off the bat. I stuffed up monumentally because I thought that we all had to have all our bills and be there today, nice sharp at 7:30. And I called a friend who was going to help bring his go-go van to bring said items. To which he said, "No, man, you can bump in today, but it'll be in lockup until next week, until people bump in officially on Friday next week." I'm like, what? And he said, "No, dude, you're stuffed up. It's not. The actual show is not until next week because holidays still run until right through next week to the first week and a bit of the first week of September." I was like, "Oh crap!" And he's like, no, just don't stress, you dickhead. Come on." I'm like, "Oh, damn." I'm previously
those
I'm
words.
previously packing things and wrapping stuff in bubble wrap and putting air cushions in tubs and putting my stuff down frantically early this morning, about 4 or 5 in the morning. And then I get tell me about it. And then I get a phone call and he says, I give him a phone call and he says, "Dude, what are you doing? Why are you ringing me this early?" I said, "Dude, are you coming? Don't we have to be there?" And he's like, "Dude, you don't have to bump in. You can bump in today and have it locked up for the whole week, or you bump in Friday and we just cruise in there, pack our boxes in, set up on the tables, and no stress. I'm like, oh shit, I'm a right bloody nong, aren't I? So anyway, that was my stuff up. That was my monumental stuff up. So that's me done. Let's punt the ball across to RRB. Do you have anything you've done for a show or a build?
Are you serious?
You thought, I'll do one little more modification, and it just crumbles in front of you.
Oh no, I haven't done that, but I always pack too late. Not
I've
too
done
early.
that as well.
I always pack too late.
Yeah.
Night before, you only live once.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. That's my problem. That's my stuff up.
Isn't that a standard thing to do? Like, especially when you have to get on a plane in the morning. Maybe not packing the Lego, but packing your clothes.
Yeah.
No, I mean with Lego. Oh my god. I leave it till the night before, and then it's just a mess, and it breaks in the car because I've packed it so shit. Yeah.
Oh, I've had that happen. I've had that happen going to Shem Shui, the border territory, when we're doing a cross-border show, and got to the venue, opened up the door of the minivan, and then I've gone, oh shit, there's Lego pieces in the back of the van everywhere. Oh shit. And the guy going,
it's bad, man.
Lego dimmer. I said, yeah, I'm going to the show here, and he's like, oh, you girl, Shule, which is basically, you idiot. What's wrong with you?
You imbecile.
Anyway, so you haven't had anything like that, Lockie?
Nah, except for the breaking of sets in the car. That's always fun and fixing when you get there. But
yep.
I don't go to enough shows to do that.
Yeah.
Maybe
when I'm back in town, we can do a collab and a collaborative project. A collaborative project.
That'd be fun. I'd enjoy
that. That would be cool.
For sure.
I haven't done one of them in a while.
In fact, so how long are you going to be here permanently, or?
It's looking that way. With health and stuff.
Next year, me and
with
me
health
and Mark
and stuff,
are planning to do a display.
This is the news that is coming to everyone on the channel. We are heading back to Aussie land, the land down under, the place which I miss and love, and we look like we are definitely coming back to Oz and relocating permanently due to health and stress and health, wealth, and everything wise. So we will be relocating back in Oz.
Sweet as, man.
Yeah. Yeah, so what
I was saying was, next year, me and Mark are planning to display at the Sydney Brick Show together. Maybe you can join us in that. Ooh.
I would love to.
What, something Ninjago?
That'd be fun.
I would like to do that.
Something Ninjago?
Yeah, I've got Ninjago.
We'll see what it is. I don't know if it'll just be Ninjago. I think we'll have a few things
Speaking of Ninjago, I want to do something with this because I got all this stuff that I want to I was going to put as Easter eggs, but I wanted to put Zany Boy somewhere. I wanted to put him somewhere in the scenery. I wanted to put where's the other dude? Oh, here we go. Funny Boy. I wanted to put him somewhere.
Ooh. Oh, you got the mech. Nice, the Jay's mech.
Yeah.
You see Douglas's comment?
Hey?
Did you see Douglas' comment? He said Tim could do Japanese Ninjago voiceovers for a display. That would be cool.
Yeah. Yes, I could. I could actually do all the Japanese interpreting for you. You're
just sitting under the... You're sitting under the table? You're under the table.
All the
Could you imagine you sitting...
Seriously, they had that on the loudspeaker in Japanese, and I remembered it word perfect.
Wow.
Yes, at the Ninjago live show, dude.
But we need you sitting under. You'd be sitting under the table and you're just talking, and kids are walking past. Like, where the hell's that voice coming from? Oh, that'd be funny. That'd be funny.
Watashi kai wo skotoro banayo. Wa zain wakazamash. Wo skotoro dashita nayo. Wa shinto da haida dashite.
Oh, that's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Yeah, not bad. We work something out, RIB. We'll work something out. It'll be fun.
Yeah.
It'll be hilarious. It'll be lots
sure.
of energy, and I'm sure we'll have a bloody damn good time. And yeah, so I got a few of those. Got to put this dude somewhere in somewhere as well. Work that out.
Oh, you got Kai as well.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I know that.
Now I got a few of them. I got some of these.
Pack you got.
Hey.
I know the pack you
got.
You got the four.
Yeah, I got a few of those packs. I got that. I still got the other original Ninja packs for you with the fidget spinner and all that kind of stuff for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got you two of these.
Well, now you're coming to Oz, man. It doesn't matter. You can just bring them over here.
No, I'm going to. That's what I'm saying. I got to bring it all to you. It's all coming. It's all going in the suitcase, and it's coming.
Beautiful.
It's all coming down under. Yeah. So
it's gonna be sick. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's all cool. But no, lots of fun. I really look forward to that. Look forward to catching up with my Oz crew and being back in the land of Oz and doing builds and doing Lego collabs and stuff. But yeah, we might as well kick across to Darkside, who sat there very intently and quietly. Have you had a stuff up? Have you had a major thing that you just realised that, oh dear, I've fudged it? Oh no! Here we go, smell it. Here we go.
I know nothing.
Here we go. Confess.
Okay, yes, I have. I'm currently building for want of a better phrase, a travel box for my display to go in, which you can't really see because there's containers and everything in the way, and me. But yeah, there's half of it's behind me. I'm building a travel box so I can take the two tables to events, and I made some small measurement errors, and I have to go and get new parts, new sections cut so I can finish building it in the morning. So,
yeah.
I have made a boo-boo.
You've made a boo-boo.
Yeah, but otherwise, I'm always like, I never get ready at the last minute. If I know I've got an event of any sort for anything, not just Lego to go to, I've got everything ready at least a few days, at the bare minimum, a few days ahead of time.
Oh, cool.
Nice, man.
My car's always packed the night before, so I'm ready to go straight away. But that's part of being 5 hours away from everything too. You kind of have to be like that.
Yeah, prepare ahead of time, yeah.
But yes, my only stuff up is building the travel box. But that's something that, $30 and half an hour is going to fix. So
yeah. Gotcha, mate. Oh well, that's not too bad.
And now I've got heaps of spare wood timber lying around.
Anyone need a bit of wood?
Yes,
that's
I've got wood.
I was waiting for it.
Yeah, I was waiting for someone to say. I figured I'd just get in first.
That's good, Jesus.
I haven't got the stream chat up yet, so I can only imagine what Douglas is saying.
Oh, he's going hell for leather, don't you worry. Anyway, we'll kick the footy across to ABC. Have you done stuff up, or you've been building something and it went horribly wrong, or preparation for a show? Is there anything that has gone south of the border that you weren't expecting? And I don't mean south of the border being sending stuff south of the border, ABC. I know you had stuff that went around south of the border.
Where to start?
Oh, great! You're a good candidate. Awesome.
I've done so many shows. Inevitably, something goes wrong. There was this one time where, okay. Start off with we built crates for our display so that we could actually have everything mostly assembled. So it was taking us several hours every show to basically build everything from scratch. It was ridiculous. I mean, we had like buildings and stuff, but all the landscaping was done by hand every time, and it was ridiculous. So we built these crates, and yeah, let's say my husband isn't, terribly good at woodwork or measuring or getting things right. When it comes to crates, but it's a common mistake to make mistakes building crates when you don't know what you're doing. I mean, we thought we knew what we were doing. Let's just say that when we slid the display in the first time on one of the crates, it didn't actually go in. It got stuck.
I really don't do things like that. Put mine in my box.
That's what she said.
Don't say things like that. No.
Yeah, so it was kind of stuck, and we couldn't figure out what the problem was, but we fixed it eventually. Then there was a time when we used the crates for the first time, and my dad came and picked it up from our place and chucked it in a trailer. As you know, trailers bounce. Yeah, shit was happening by the time it was like out the end of our driveway.
Oh no! Shit was happening in the driveway.
So we got to Townsville, and like, I have this little 4-wheel drive car, and it had actually been like stuck. Like I had stuck it down with a brick underneath it so that it would stay in place. But you know, round things, round tires. If they get loose, they move. Well, this rolled all over.
Oh no!
Decimated a whole bunch of stuff.
Oh no!
That was probably. It wasn't. It looked bad, but it wasn't that bad. Then when we did Coffs Harbour the first time, we were debuting the big electric fence on the Jurassic Park type fence.
Oh yeah.
And we left behind the pieces that actually made the fence. Like we had the big uprights. We didn't have the bars that went in between. Somehow, my husband had failed to pack them.
Oh no!
So you had the breakout scene. That's okay.
No, well, then there'd be no like anything at all. Like for the whole length of the fence would have looked stupid.
That's where you just line all the dinosaurs up as if they're all charging the fence at the same time.
Anyway. Like figure this out. I'm like looking for it, going, you know, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? I can't find it. We went through everything. It wasn't there. We did find it when we got home though, and so we had to think on the fly. I'm like, okay, what can we use instead of Lego? Yeah. And so we went over. I think we went into Jaycar. And we got some heat shrink, which is stuff that you put around like for electrical work. Like it's like this plasticky kind of stuff that you shrink down onto the wires. And it just happened to be the right diameter to fit into the clips that were on the fence. And that's been on our fence ever since. So, yeah, I have one non-Lego thing.
One non-Lego thing.
Very non-Lego thing. But no, nobody has like questioned it. It's funny.
Really?
Nope. Nobody's questioned it. It's been in videos, it's been in photos.
There's always some sticky beak.
Yeah, you'd think that somebody would have said something.
That's not Lego.
Yep.
But yeah, it just turned out to be like so good. And it held all the fence together, so the fence could just stay on the display the whole time because structurally, you know, you had pieces that were strung across the whole length of it, so it actually held it all together.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
I'll put my hand up. I'll be the one.
Oh, here we go. We got Gandalf.
Oh, don't let me finish my stories, Gandalf.
Yeah, just butt in.
I'm butting.
I thought you had finished.
Nah.
Well, now we
Big
got
story.
Now we got dead air.
Tell
So.
your story.
Finish your story, ABC.
No,
Darren,
it's fine. I have other stories that I can tell, but that's all right. Dazza,
Ooh.
speak.
Dazza, go ahead. Come on, buddy. We miss you. How are you?
I just said it'd be me sticking my hand up saying that's not Lego. That was just my comment.
No.
Yeah, we
That's
heard.
the story.
Oh, okay. Is that it?
Go to
Bloody
bed.
hell. Fair dinkum. Anyway, how you been, mate? What's going on? What's happening?
Had a pretty busy day out. Weather's horrible here at the moment. We've had 120 km/h plus winds and yeah, pretty atrocious on the roads. Had to be out today and several accidents and yeah. Thankfully we didn't get involved in any, but as usual, people won't drive to the conditions. They just tend to think they can drive whatever the speed limit is, even though you can't see 5 car lengths in
Keep
front of you.
going and hope we don't crash.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah,
Bunch of idiots.
crazy.
Yep.
Anyhow.
So have you had a stuff up in during a build or preparing a show or something that has gone horribly south of the border and you've gone, oh bugger, what am I going to do?
I've been at the point where parts have turned up about an hour before we've got to exhibit, and you've got to finish it.
Oh, what?
And critical parts at that, so it's either sort of finish it on the spot, sort of thing.
Yeah, at said venue.
Yeah, or sort of like there's always somebody that sort of decides they can dive in front of you and make you hit the brakes and just about destroy everything in the back of the car.
Oh no! Oh no!
Sort of like, yeah.
Bloody hell!
That's always fun.
Yeah, I think it's the point where the last show we went to, we had situations sort of like that, and yeah, we had to do some major rebuilding at the show because it's just
bloody hell.
The way it was set up, you couldn't not do it. You sort of the way it was all built was, or some of the items were built, you just couldn't help but build them where they were. So they're a bit fragile, and you're going to have to build certain things again. But yeah, just when it's some clown who's just too time poor to, care about anyone else on the road, well, you sort of, you'd love to get out and deal with them, but anyway. Yeah, so yeah, but anyway, it happened. No,
yeah, Cherie just left.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I've had a pretty good run when it comes to showing, I suppose. Really, just nothing really major's gone wrong for us. It's a few things here and there, but yeah, what do you do? Yeah, I've known other people had a horrible run with going to shows. It's really annoyed them. So, but no, we've done pretty well. Can't say otherwise. Can be a hard time finding parts, though. I mean, I've got a build on at the moment, and I just it's I can find the parts, but I have to order the one part from 6 different shops.
Yeah,
the case of the part's about $5, and it's about the only thing.
It's about 10.
Yeah, exactly, and it's about the only thing they've got in their shop that's worth buying. And I can't get it elsewhere because it's a vintage part, and I don't normally use vintage parts in my builds, but in this particular case, it's a part that's very well hidden, but I need it. So I'm not telling anyone what it is, because otherwise some scalper might run out there and buy them all and then stop and make me then charge them for them.
Been known to happen.
It has, so yeah, so the way it goes sometimes. I'm going to disappear from view for a minute. I'll still be here. I've just got home, so I'm eating. You don't need to see me eating.
Okay, all good. Thank you for chiming in. And as I keep building away and preparing bits and pieces, what do you got, RB, some of the show?
No, just my bag of spare parts from sets over the last years. Yeah. This is spare parts from the last year. That's pretty sad. That's sad.
Dude. Wow. That's cool, man.
God. No, it's not. It's a lot of money. They're good parts. That's from sets I bought. That's so sad.
Yeah, considering there's only usually a few parts per set. Yeah,
That's a whole pack. I pulled out about 100 of about, I would say 50 of these in different colors. Where's my camera thing? The Ninja headrest, the Ninja headgear under their head.
Yeah.
There was about 50 in there.
Oh, RRB, nice.
That shows how many Ninjago sets have come out in the last 2 years.
Yes, it certainly does, mate.
Yeah.
Cool banana.
So you get some good spare parts in some sets.
Yeah.
So, like the Harry Potter stuff came with these, these parts.
Oh yeah.
Spares. So that was cool.
Yeah.
I got a few of those spare. I just put them on my Harry
yeah.
Potter display.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
Nice.
I've got a bit of Star Wars fever at the moment. I'm just buying sets to get some figures.
Yeah.
I have all the current battle packs that are out. I have all of those.
Oh, nice.
The bigger sets.
Yeah.
And I have the docs coming this week. So that's
cool. Dude, awesome.
Yep.
Great
Finally.
news. Great news, mate. Great news. Why flipping not?
Yeah, it was at Toy World, so I just bought it on there, getting it sent. So it was at Toy World. So.
Was it?
Yeah.
Has there been any feedback of the guys who went to the opening of the Toymate store? Have we heard any stories? Was it good? Was it bad? Was it?
I'm at Toymate every day. For me, it's not new, but.
Yeah, I know. And I remember it being in New South as well, mate. But they all just went feverishly over the top over it. Whether that was warranted, I'm not sure.
I bought all the Harry Potter brickheads from there.
Oh yeah.
Last week I bought them all.
Yeah.
No, it's been near me for now 3 years. The Toymate near me 3 years has been.
Yeah,
there.
on the coast. Yeah.
Yeah. The ones in Sydney have been. They all took over Uncle Pete's. All the Uncle Pete's went, and Toymate took it over.
Oh, did they?
Yeah. Toymate took over Uncle Pete's.
Mate.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, okie doke. That's what went down, eh?
You know what's really sad is they've had so when Uncle Pete's sold it to them, that was 2014.
Yeah.
Toymate still have some sets from when Uncle Pete's owned it in the same place. They haven't moved.
No way.
They still have, like, I would say 15 Chima Speedles on the racks in the corner, been there for 4 years, 5 years. For 5 years. And they are still full price because they've forgotten about them, I'm assuming.
Yeah. I like the joke about Darren. Darren's got a microwave in his beard.
I can't see the group chat, so I've got no idea.
I know. It's quite hilarious, though, mate. Douglas McBricken just said that you got a microwave in your beard, and he just heard the ding ding go off.
Oh, right. Oh, it wasn't me.
Yeah, I know. I think that might have been my missus, actually.
But speaking of which, I do have to go and check something in the microwave, so.
Oh, here we go.
We use convection microwaves, and I've got another pizza cooking in the microwave, so I better go check. Be back shortly.
Gotcha. Make sure you've got it on the right setting, mate.
Oh, there's Eastwood. There's a few Toymates in Sydney. I would say more than a few.
Yeah, I remember Uncle Pete's, but I had fond memories going to one. The Uncle Pete's at St Leonard's used to be a great haunt for me. Back in the day.
Yeah, I used to go. The one at Castle Hill was good. That's now Toymate.
Oh, Castle Hill, good old Castle Towers.
Yeah. Yeah, that one. Castle Towers, yeah.
Yeah, I remember those days too.
Yeah. There's not one at Hornsby. There's not one at Hornsby.
Yeah.
There's There's one at Top Ride. I know that.
It wasn't when I was living there.
No, there's one there now.
Oh,
you know
is
Jen's
there?
Lego on Instagram? You know Jen's Lego?
Dude, I'm gonna have, when I get back to Eastwood, I'm gonna have to get out and have a sniffer dog round, mate. I'm gonna have a real bloody get on the ground and have a look.
Jen's Lego goes for
Because
that
I
one.
know Kmart went to Top Ride Shopping Centre, which shook a lot of places. It shook up Big W.
Yeah, it's got big. That's like Big W's not really in Sydney. There's not many in Sydney. Okay, here's the list. There's one at Blacktown, Toymate Blacktown, Toymate Campbelltown, Toymate Chatswood. Wow, okay, Chatswood.
There's one at Chatswood. Good old Chatswood, my old stomping ground.
Toymate Macarthur Square, Marylands, Mount Druitt, Penrith,
Medina,
Shell Harbour, Top Ride. Yeah, I know Mount Druitt. Far out. Imagine working there.
Yeah.
Windsor, which is the Castle Hill one. That's
Castle Hill
one, Windsor. Yeah.
Are you all going up there, are you? No, I'm not going anywhere. I'm not a sheep.
I'm going to Castle Towers. Castle Towers, bruh.
Castle Towers, mate. Yeah. they were the days, RIV.
Good old Castle Towers. Yeah.
But, no, I might have to check out. I might have to check out when I get back to Eastwood and go up to Ride and have a butcher's hook and see what's around, and maybe go back to my old early day stomping ground around Chatty's Wood. Good old Chatty's Wood.
They're good, man. Chatswood doesn't have David Jones or Toys R Us anymore.
I don't know if you know RB, but Chatty's Wood is actually quite famous in Australian literature. Do you know why?
Why?
Because it's written in Henry Lawson. Henry Lawson wrote a poem about Chatty's Wood, about the history of it being formed and created. I know that because I worked for the council. I worked for Willoughby Council at one stage in one of my former hats and careers. And we used to do a heritage poetry reading every so many months. And we dug up a lot of dirt and found that Henry Lawson actually used to get quite pissed as a parrot, go down to a cave in Narrabeen, sober up, and then stagger back up to a lady friend's house, and then go into the city of Sydney and spoke poetry in the I think it was the Royal Arms in the Rocks or something like that, and used to get paid money for it. So yeah, good old Chatswood. The original name was Chatty's Wood. So the poem's actually called Chatty's Wood. But yeah, a lot of history. That's the kind of stuff I miss. I try to teach my students since I'm been here to, not just look at bloody boring crap that they're spoon-fed, but look at, world poetry, look at, Shakespearean stuff, look at Wordsworth and a lot of good stuff, and they just, they sort of don't get exposed to it. But anyway, that takes me way from Lego, and I'm currently building something to add some structure to a building.
So he'd go and get pissed as a parrot down in Chatty's Wood, and then go give his girlfriend a bit of wood.
Oh, I wasn't going there, Darren, but you did. Good on you, mate. I love it.
But it's interesting, like, we sort of frown upon people occasionally with their habits and things like that, and it's because of our current social climate. But we look in history. I mean, some of the greatest authors have been opium addicts, as an example. Lewis Carroll, as an example. You wouldn't have had Alice in Wonderland or anything like that if he hadn't been off his skull. So I mean, things that happen. So quite often cop it with photographers. Actually, people go, but the photographers of yesteryear were, like, they did incredible stuff. Yeah, they were in rooms full of chemicals and they were off their damn trees.
They were really off their tree, all right. In the dark room, just sniffing up the chemicals. Yeah.
Yeah. So No, but yeah, it's to each their own. I mean, it's that I don't. As long as you're not interfering with anyone else, I think you've got your habits over here. But it's when you're opinion other people, like the mongrels that scoped out our yard today, trying to steal stuff to support their habit. Anyway.
Oh, really?
Mm.
Oh, bloody hell!
Next door neighbour caught him trying to break in the back. So.
No way.
Yep.
Bloody hell!
So thankfully, all the Legos secure.
Oh, good. That's the most important thing, Dazza. That's the most important thing, mate. Make sure that's locked down.
Yes, it's just a reminder to people, though, to make sure your Lego is individually listed on your house and contents insurance, though, because most insurance companies cover it.
Yes, that's true.
Items, especially if collecting.
That is quite true. I've heard that before, mate. Yeah.
So, timely reminder that we've got to up ours again because we've got a lot more than we considered. When today was a bit of a reminder. Maybe $5,000 for the cover isn't enough.
Ah.
maybe we've got to at least double that in a bit.
Oh, goodness me.
And you don't think about it, but you buy $100 a week over a year, and there's $5,000.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
Exactly right. It adds up very quickly. One does not realise how it can accumulate in cost value. Yeah. For policies and all that type of stuff,
Yeah. So just a timely reminder, make sure it's on your insurance and make sure it's insured for what it's worth, and back that up with photos too, especially if you've got really rare items or UCSs and stuff like that.
Oh, hell yeah.
Keep all your receipts.
Particularly careful of that stuff, mate.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And it does if you've got UCSs and things like that, sneeze over them every now and then. Puts DNA on them, they can track it back to being yours then if it ever gets recovered.
I've heard that. I have heard that, Dazza.
That's serious. I know a lot of artists who actually deliberately sneeze on their work so it goes under the paint and they'll mix it into the paint and things like that. They can prove it.
Yeah. It's not as gross as it sounds. It's actually quite a very poignant tactic to preserve and protect one's items.
Yep.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn.
No, an Aboriginal artist friend of mine was having his work ripped off. They were cutting his signatures off the bottom of it and then selling work, which they're buying for around about the $1,800 mark for over $100,000 a piece.
Yeah.
So,
bloody hell.
Someone else is cutting his name up and putting their own name on him and claiming to be his work. He actually got them because he actually spits all over the canvases and brushes all over it, and then that mixes saliva into the paints as well. So he was able to test it and prove that it was actually his, because there's no way you could fake that.
No.
Yeah, that's true.
Wow.
Douglas came back with Jurassic artists.
Come on, Douglas.
Well, actually, traditionally, a lot of the ochre painting was actually done with saliva in it because it was one of the best. Was better to mix it with some water because it gave it a better painting consistency on the rock walls and that. So yeah. Yeah.
Well, that was what all my Corey Burrows used to do. All the Pinajaras and the guys in the Warangiris, and that's what they did, mate. That's what they did.
Yeah. So.
And I've been trying to find links to it, but there is an amazing Lego Aboriginal artist who works in Lego and does some amazing Aboriginal pieces with Lego. And I'm trying to find. I think he's based in the Territory or he's based in WA, but he does some amazing stuff.
Yeah.
Very, very creative with Lego and puts a different Indigenous spin on it, which is absolutely insane. Really nicely done.
Yeah.
Really nicely done. Now, I was impressed. A friend over here sent me the link to it, and I'm like, oh, dude, that is awesome. And I was quite taken back by it. But yeah, so I'm just adding a few things to this Ambo station that is going to be part of my display for next week's show, which I thought was this week, but I got it wrong, you bumbleheaded booby. But anyway, you get that. A slight oversight on my part, but luckily I've got another week to work on it day and night and pull the old hands to the grind mill and keep going and doing it so we can get it knocked out and get it ready for display. Then I got to knock this out this evening and then get on to the next lot of projects, pack some more things tomorrow. Oh, golly gosh, it doesn't end, but it's all good. It's all for a great enjoyment we call Lego, and we do enjoy what we do. So anyway, it is what it is.
Yeah. All right. Well, on that note, I've got to go.
Okay, mate. Thank you for dropping by.
Yeah, no, it's been good.
Catch you later, mate.
Have a good one. Keep on building.
Yeah, I'll catch you on Tuesday on Cherie's stream.
Okie doke.
Right.
Catch you, dude.
All right. See
you, mate.
Yeah, Friday, mate. Bye.
Now, RRB has left the building. So that's all good. I'll go and have a look at the chat. Douglas has made some comments, which is cool. And Spongo's in the house. Douglas is in the house. Darkside's in the house. Yes, we know. RRB was in the house. Who else? Anyone I've missed at the top?
No, that's about it.
I think that's about it. That's all right. It's a bit of a quiet night, but it's all good in the hood. And yeah, so now we're getting ready for that, building this. I've got to put some other touches onto that. Lock that down, that's cool. And now, what? If I replace, I'm going to change that. If I change that, that will lock it in a little bit stabler.
Have you got cicadas or something going up in the background, Tim?
I do, mate. I do. It's summertime over here and it's stinking goddamn hot, I can tell you what.
Yeah, they're coming through loud and clear.
Yeah, if it gets too bad for anyone, I can put the headphones on. If there's anyone that's sensitive to noise, just let me know. I'll put the headphones on. But it's a bit hard when I got to turn around, go get other bits, and then come back. But just give us a holler if it's upsetting anyone too much. But I will oblige my lovely people who I love chatting to. Anyway, we'll just keep on crack-a-lacking. Keep on crack-a-lacking. Which is cool.
Spongo's come back with, yes, there is an Indigenous artist at Lego store in Dreamworld.
Oh, is it? Oh, cool. Thank you, Spongo.
Yeah, when we head north next year to do a bit of documentary filming, I'm tending to take a lot of mosaic-y type items and maybe a bit of greebling type items.
Yep.
And hand them over to a couple of my Aboriginal artist friends and see what they come up with as far as mosaics or greebled plates and stuff like that.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so cool, it's a medium they would have never worked in before, so I think it'll be a challenge.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, good stuff, mate. That's a good thought. Bloody good thought on your part, mate.
How that goes, well, then we might do a bit of work off the back of that and then sort of take it into another area and maybe do a bit of filming on the back of it.
Oh, dude, that would be bloody sensational, mate. That would be really good. I reckon that will go down really well.
Yeah, just something a bit different.
Oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Especially with the adults, especially old adults that probably have rarely even seen it, other than even touched it. So, yeah. But I think they'll enjoy the bright colours of the.
Oh yeah, I'm sure they will.
And I mean, mosaic plates are one thing, but I think greebled plates would be a really cool thing. I think they could do some really cool stuff there because that becomes textural as well.
Oh, definitely. Definitely. I have to agree with that, yeah. That would be bloody fantastic, mate.
So basically doing a little bit of a test to see what sort of parts they like to use and then, take a heap of stuff up that they,
Oh, yeah. Heck yeah.
And it's also got to be stuff you're prepared to lose, because not lose on the fact that if they make stuff that they want to sell, well, you know, so you don't take anything that's rare and hard to replace, basically, in case people offer to buy it. So it's sort of like, yeah, okay, we can sell this. You got to replace the parts, sort of thing.
Probably back mistake. I just got to get rid of this Lego, put it back down in my storage room.
Okay, mate. All good. No problem. All good, mate. All good. I'll continue plodding along here. Plodding along.
So the show you're doing that's now next weekend, what's there an aid of, or is there any aid, or is it just a general show?
It is we have 3 shows a year now. This is the second show. The third show will be at Christmas time, which is our annual big Christmas show. This show is a general sort of show, but we do have 2 charities that we put money towards. One is called Mindset, which is a mental health group, and the other is it's the Royal Hong Kong Medical Auxiliary Foundation. So those 2 groups will be getting some of the coin and some sales from the actual Lego independent stores that will be set up, and other guys that want to sell Lego, they'll get some of the actual takings, and then there's a general donation stand with their sort of charity and you know, what they want to do more for kids and how they want us as APOLs to help with building esteem and people, kids and adults with mental health issues. And for the medical auxiliary, how to actually help them aid and brighten up kids in with medical conditions and adults like myself with asthma and brittle asthma and other rare diseases which Hong Kong doesn't fund well enough or at all. So yeah, that's what it's going to be going towards, which will be bloody good.
No worries, good. Henry's just dropped in the house. Hi, Henry.
Oh, Henry has come in, eh? The Henry has made the building. The Henry has entered the building. Awesome. Yeah, so no, it's pretty damn good, Daz, and we are really happy to do that, and it's going to be good. It's going to be good.
That's all right, Henry. You drop in when you can, mate. It's like tonight. I was late. I was got home rather late, and yeah, I was feeling a bit buggered, so I needed a bit of a lay down.
Yeah.
Yeah. Weather's getting to me. Anyway, that's where it goes.
It's been quite cold down there, has it, mate?
Well, not so much cold. I mean, we've been around the sort of the 10-degree mark most of the day. It's just with the weather and the low pressure system, etc. It's made it a bit miserable.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
I'm getting a bit sore when the low pressure systems come in. So yeah.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah.
It's I got a bit tender all over the pressure points. Oh, yeah. I've got power here. What's going on? I must have the wrong lead. No, right lead. What's going on?
Yeah.
I'm going to go flat any minute from now if I don't work out what's going on.
Oh,
no. Yeah. Oh, well, no, I shouldn't say in a minute, but yeah, it's just like got to work out what's going on. Okay. Now it's working. Just decided once I started looking for something else, I decided to start working.
That's always the way, mate. Bloody hell.
No, Henry, it's not quite the case, mate. Henry's gone. This is the one stream where I can swear and no one would care.
No, being of your age, no, I would not expect you to. A little bit later on, maybe I might accidentally do something naughty, but you do not have carte blanche just yet, Henry. Not yet.
So,
yeah, mate.
I was just looking around some random parts I've got here on the table, and I happen to have tipped up a few hair pieces, and
yeah.
It's interesting. Like anyone that says there's not a variety of hair pieces compared to what there used to be is they're dreaming. And I'll just pop up a couple of examples. I've got it. Just give me a second to find it.
That's all good.
Yeah. No. I'm looking around me, and all I've got for heads are like, I've got a friend's mini doll. I don't really care. People can say what they wish. But there's this particular one here with the long hair, which actually is a friend's one anyway. I mean, that's a very nice sculptural piece. And forget that it's hair. This is actually a piece that makes very good, like, creek banks and things like that. If you use this piece correctly, it's a very sculptural piece. You can use it as bits of tree trunk. Nice accessory in the root zone area, and it looks really, really good. So just never discount parts like that. Then there's this absolutely gorgeous little bun.
Yeah.
The one thing that I don't credit is friends' heads are a little bit harder to get the hair pieces on sometimes.
Yes, that is true.
And harder to get.
True.
And actually hard to get them off of. It's becoming
it's also hard to get the buggers off. I was going to say that as well, mate. Beat me to the bloody line.
Yeah, I've had some friends that have been hard to get off. Yeah, okay, no. Yeah. Sorry. Where were we going here? Right. So
oh, Dazza, good on you, mate.
There's this one here which has the painted hair sort of accessories in it. And again, it's another part there. As long as you hide the little bit of the printing on the front, it makes another little good sculptural item. Like you can sort of use it as a wood knot on the side of a tree or something like that.
Absolutely. Yep.
It's another one of those things where you can use it like that. And then there's things like the oh god, I just dropped me a bit of clear stuff I hold things up on. Oh god. Change to another one. One of the advantages of having bits laying around nearby. And then there's these really neat pieces, like I think this one came from the guy on the crutches. The bandage wrap.
Oh, yeah.
Now it also makes quite a good white turban. So
it's very good with my very darker heads that I have. Yes.
So if you've sort of got a bit of an Indian theme or something like that going on, or a bit of an Egyptian theme or whatever, you can make a turban there. So I've seen a couple of people since that one came out. They've added it into their Indiana Jones type layouts.
Yeah.
And very good use of that particular part. So I quite often use the green one, which I can't find a green turban now just because I'm looking for one. It makes a very good tree in Micropolis scale.
Oh, yeah.
It's a very good tree for using that way. So, just don't discount hair pieces as just hair pieces. They can be used in many other ways as well.
Oh, absolutely.
So, look at them. I'm still trying to find a way, though, to use this particular one. How do you use that headpiece in a build?
Oh, no. Darren, no. I don't think there's any hope. Oh,
no. Yeah.
Jar Jar Biggs
got to be used for it somewhere. I mean, he's...
Jar Jar Biggs' headpiece. I don't think there is any other use. Is there, Bill? Do you think there's any other use for Jar Jar Biggs' headpiece?
James actually had a good idea, if that's what you were just talking about.
Yes.
To set up a butcher on my in my Mos Eisley area and have bits of Jar Jar in different baskets.
Probably do that. That'd probably be cool. But
that'll be okay.
Teddy, you were talking about building stuff and whatnot before. I don't know if you've seen it, but can you see that?
Oh yes. Oh, hello. Yes.
Yeah, that's what I'm working on at the moment to get finished. It's actually on the table backwards because I've had to turn it around while I'm working on it.
I was going to say you've rotated it. It looks bloody good.
But wow. That's my landing bay.
Oh, dude, it's sweet.
I've still got see if I can do this. I've still got to put a wall along here
Yep.
See, I've done that one there.
Yes.
Which has got the
Yeah,
entrance
you've got the
to
knife curvature. Yeah, lovely.
Yeah, you can actually fit a land speeder under that.
Oh,
So
nice.
It's proper size
Cool.
as far as that's concerned. But I've got to
Yep.
add a wall there, and I've
Yep.
got to add 2 more walls, one there, that
Yep.
area, and one that you can't see around the other side.
Yep. Okay.
And
Wow.
the gaps in between these panels will be filled. They're already done on there, but you can't really see it properly. But I've
Oh no,
got to
you can.
fill all
As
the
it
gaps.
goes round, you can get the opinion. You can actually you can see how it's going to fill in
But
nicely.
it is actually a full semicircle. So it is actually curved when you look down on it.
Oh, mate, that's bloody brilliant. Good work.
Yeah. It's also 183 hinge plates that have gone into doing it so far.
I was going to say there'll be a lot of hinge plates, bloody Phil.
But yeah, it's going to look the part once it's done. That's for sure.
Oh hell yeah! It's gonna be a bloody good bloody finishing touch, mate. I'm excited.
I don't know if I can see that building there. This building. Yeah, that's your standard size building. That's 6 or 7 bricks high. That building. So that tells you how big the landing bay is.
Oh hell yeah! Exactly. Yeah,
it dominates the entire table. Like you put, if I set the T16 inside it, I think it actually disappears inside.
Oh really?
Hang on, let me get the junk out of there first. There you go.
Oh my god!
You can't see.
You can't see nothing, dude.
There you go.
Oh my god, that's cool.
There's the bottom of it there.
Yeah, that's the ass of it. Oh my god, that's so good, mate.
It fits an entire the 2012 Millennium Falcon in it.
Oh, dude, that's gonna be freaking awesome.
It looks the part when the Falcon's parked in there. I can tell you, it looks pretty sweet.
I hope I'm back to actually go and see you display that. I really mean that, mate. I want to see that in the fucking flesh. I want to see that in the flesh. That is brilliant.
I've actually got to move it because I've got to do work on it tomorrow anyway. So hang on.
I am excited.
This is the scary part.
I understand exactly what you're saying. I'm there, mate. Gentle.
Now I actually have a rather large Lazy Suzanne. It's about 70 centimeters across for building on.
Oh, you got a Lazy Susan.
Yeah, so you can put things on it and turn them around and work on them from sides.
Ah, nice.
It'll hold
I was going to go
easily like 432 by 32 base plates with a bit of hanging off the edge.
Oh, look at that. Oh, Phil.
And if you get the Falcon.
Oh my god, that is awesome.
And park the Falcon in there.
Oh, Phil. Dude.
It looks the part, doesn't it?
Mate, it is on point. It is seriously on point.
I'll say this right now. This is not my design. I looked all over the interwebs for different models of landing bays and what people have done.
Yeah.
And this is nowhere near as good as the one that I'm copying, I suppose you could say. But if you look
inspiration, copying, all the same, yeah.
If you look for a builder by the name of Bricknator, he actually built his has actually got 94 actually done in bricks on there and all that sort of stuff.
Oh no way!
That's where I'm getting the inspiration from for this.
Oh mate,
this landing bay, does it usually have a roof on it or not?
No.
Oh, because you could have. No. I think a really cool thing would be to like sort of make a roof and make it look like the Millennium Falcon crash down through it. Just
because that's how they actually landed them in the movie. They come down like that.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, I'm not that familiar with it.
Yeah, they don't. But I don't know if you'll be able to see it on because it's so far away. Once I've got the roof done here, like that, I'm going to have this on here with a winch, and I don't know if you'll see it, but there's a working elevator.
Oh yeah! Wow! Yes! Oh, dude!
So I'm going to have that all set up and operational as well.
Oh, Phil!
But at the moment, it's quite flimsy, as you can see.
Yeah. But all you need to do, mate, is do a little bit of reinforcing, and mate, that's going to be so legit. I love it.
Oh, yeah.
I love it.
just putting that wall under there has reinforced it a lot, but it's 2 plates too low, so I've got to add 2 plates to the top of that, and then that'll
to raise it up a bit. Yeah.
Get up under the floors.
Bloody hell, mate, you've done well.
It does pop apart every now and then, but once it's on the table in a permanent position, I'll never have to worry about it. So
no. Once you have in the spot you won't have to give a shit again, and you've done it, and you'll be proud, mate.
That's the biggest thing on my table.
I have to say, I'm not pissing in your pocket, but I'm really impressed what you've done there.
It's been a labor.
If I can come back to Oz and see that in the flesh, I'll be a happy man. I can tell you that now. I'm
very happy with the way it's coming out so far. That's for sure.
Oh, mate, you've got to give yourself a pat on the back. It's looking bloody good. I really think you've done an ace job. It's nice.
But, yeah, to put it out there and to give props where props are due, people look up Brick Nader and you'll find his.
Yep.
And it's just amazing.
Have a look at that after the stream, and I know there's some amazing builders doing stuff in the Star Wars realm. I've seen some amazing Last Jedi hangers. I've seen a whole heap of really good other ones from Last Jedi stuff. I've seen amazing stuff of even guys who have done the actual Death Star trench with the actual. That is phenomenal stuff.
Yeah.
When you see
Especially when
the guys with the turbo laser cannons, they built them themselves.
Yeah.
You've got the actual channel. It's phenomenal.
Especially when they're done with full size X-wings and TIE fighters too.
That's what I'm saying, dude. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, they're ridiculous.
It's an absolute phenomenal thing to see guys with full size X-wings and bloody TIE fighters and a TIE Advanced, and it's going through exactly frame by frame like the actual movie scene. It's like, oh, dude, that is amazing.
Awesome, eh?
Oh, mate, it's beautiful. It is beautiful work.
Well, that and everything on the other table there, the other half.
Yeah.
Has been done from what I originally had my 8-foot table.
Yeah.
So I've turned it into 2 6-foot tables, and I've got 5 weeks to get it finished.
Oh, gotcha, mate.
So yeah, I've been working on it since the Bundy show, since the Bundy event.
Yeah. Well, you said that
so I've done everything I've done in what, a month and a half so far.
Well, you've done well. You've done well, mate. Shit, you've done well.
It's getting there.
I know, mate. I know. But no, that's really good.
I'll thank my wife for it more than anything, because she's the one that's given me the green flag to go ahead and get it done. So
yeah, well, that's what you need. You need someone that will say, "Oh, look, honey, I reckon next time if you can do a little bit of a improvement here and there." That's what my missus encouraged me for this show. She said, "Oh, actually, you know what, Tim? You can put one more level on that hospital. You can put another sort of, a nice interior." And then when you have the actual walk around of the panel to actually critique your display, you can take off not just the 4 levels. You can take off 5 levels and show them all the details in every part of your level of the hospital build, and then you can show them not just as one case in point of how you do interiors, but the rest of it setting a cityscape. That will be the piece de resistance. And I said, oh, but you know how much you're going to have to get in brick? And she's like, yes, I know you're going to have to buy a few bloody more green and gold bloody cups, but look, I think if you did that, then you might win a trophy or something. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, if you give them the green light, usually you don't let me buy more Lego, but okay, hun.
So. And that's part of one of the other walls. That's
nice.
Your minifigure entrance, basically.
Yeah, the minifigure entrance. Nice.
I've got an order of 200 2x4 bricks I'm waiting to arrive. I'm hoping it turns up tomorrow. And that I'm hoping will give me enough to get the rest of the walls built. Then I've got one last $100 and something order I've got to place, and that'll finish off the entire table.
Oh, awesome. And I think your idea of swapping out the big UCS sandcrawler with the smaller one will be a bloody good idea too. I did like the big sandcrawler in your original, but I think the other one will work just as good.
Look, there's the other one.
Oh, yes. Dude.
It gives great depth perception. That smaller one is by far the better one to use in this instance.
Exactly. Exactly. Otherwise, the other one just overpowers the scene and makes it, yeah.
Yep, it's way too big, yeah.
Maybe at some point, though, you could, like, you know, this thing's going to keep growing, you know that, don't you?
No, it's not. No, I actually have made a deal. I've made a deal with the missus. Once this is done and it gets put in its transport box, there's a very good chance it's going to live in the transport box.
Fair enough.
So,
yeah, I suppose you'd use a pile of that stuff, wouldn't you? 10.
I had 10, yeah.
Yeah.
If I never see 10 again after the next 6 weeks, I'll be a happy man.
But I'm just looking at that Jar Jar Binks headpiece though, and like when you put it with the tan, it's a fairly close match with a bit of textural color. And sure, it's got a way you can work a whole pile of them into some landscaping like cliff faces or something like that. Yeah. Just for another textural element. And it's that clever use of parts like that that just blow people's minds. I see Henry's put up a penguin joke, so can I tell mine?
Yeah, go for it.
All right, there's this penguin and he's driving around in the Arctic and his car's broken down, so he goes to the mechanic and while his car's in the mechanic because it's broken down, he goes and has a soft serve ice cream and he's a bit of a messy bugger, so he dribbles it all down the front of his body. Anyway, he goes back to the mechanic and he walks in the mechanic and the mechanic looks at him and says, "Mate, looks like you've blown a seal." And he goes, No, I just had a soft serve ice cream.
Yeah, I've heard that one before too.
There you go, Henry. There's a better dead joke for you, mate.
Oh shit. Oh, thank you, Darren. That was brought to you by Darren, the mad Mexican of Victoria.
But I'm loving Douglas's comment. I saw an American Family Feud question: a man's name that starts with H. Answer: Jose. Yeah.
Oh, Douglas, good on you, mate. Good on you. Well, I've got the back office on here now, which is good. And now I just need to build the wall up so I can put the roof back on. Damn good. Okie dokie. Now let's just put.
Yes, that set that I was pulling apart the other day, 31065, those that were watching Friday night, that's this particular creator set.
Yep.
There's a lot of good tan brick in this particular set, so
yeah, there is. There is a lot of good
a lot of cool parts in it as well. But for those doing the sort of thing that Darkside's doing, it's probably a good buy for some starting parts. Yeah, I mean that's what you got to look at. You look at what they build, not what you not sorry. You shouldn't look at what they build. Look what you get in them parts wise.
Yeah.
Why did the skeleton not go trick or treating? He had no body to go with. Okay, Henry, dad joke.
Oh dear!
I thought he was going to say he didn't have the guts, but oh.
Yeah. There's always that one as well. But
Good one. Oh, good one. Yeah, no,
I got one for you guys. Completely out of the ballpark, but it is Lego related. In this instance, it's Lego related. I just received a message. I did the Bundaberg brick event, right? The brick show.
Yep.
I'll call it that instead of using actual names. I did the Bundaberg brick show and talked to heaps of people, absolutely heaps. Families, adults, the whole kit and caboodle. I've just received a message. One of the people, the groups I talked to, was a father, his son, and his daughter. The son, who I'm guessing would be about 11 or 12, has just contacted me via Bricklink messaging, asking me if we'd be able to Facebook each other so he can ask me questions about doing mocks and whatnot. And I've had to reply with a message that's the length of a Stephen King book, saying that I can't do that because of the way the world is nowadays, and he's a minor and I'm an adult, and blah 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 blah. And I've had to go through the whole rigmarole. I've actually requested that he shows his father the message that he contacted me and my reply, and I've had to tell him, look, the only way we can do this is if he and his father both join the local Lego group, Facebook group that I made up, that covers our our whole area, the whole wide Bay Fraser Coast in Queensland. And
Yeah.
that's the only way that he and I would be able to converse. That way we're out in the open, Dad can see it, other people can join in conversations, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But isn't that suck that the world is the way it is now, that you can't support kids when they actually come to you and they say, look, I saw your mock and I thought it was unreal, blah, blah, blah. And they want information, and you've got to turn it into this stupid...
Yeah,
it's so infuriating, because my brain doesn't work like a sicko's brain, obviously.
Of course not.
You've still got to jump through the hoops. You've got to do all this crap.
I know. It's a very sad indictment on society, Phil. It really is.
It's really infuriating. Sorry to put that out there in a bit of a downer, but
no.
It happened earlier. That's why I was all quiet. I was replying to his message.
Well, that's nice. That's nice, mate.
This on the stream, because it's just sad. This is people say that I don't consider myself an AFOL. I'm only new to it all myself. But people consider some AFOLs and some event people rude and that sort of thing, and they won't give up the information. I'm willing to give up the limited information I know, and I'm not allowed to. It's so infuriating.
Yeah, exactly. I had to jump through all the hoops as well to set up the Kicks Lego Club over here. And to think that I'm a teacher, I got my degree, I work for a reputable international school. Oh no, I still had to go through the actual what's called the family association to get them to actually say, oh, I'm certified to run a after hours Lego group for kids, just so that they actually knew that I was not going to do anything untoward. And the gall of it all is that the parents were the ones who initiated the actual principle for me to start in the first place.
Yeah.
And it's like,
the stupid rule thing to jump through.
Become a bureau and get certified. I'm already certified to teach kids, but to get their secret little certification to make sure that they're seen to be doing some sort of a bureaucratic job.
Yep. Well, my wife and I just got our blue cards because we're with the 501st Legion. If we want to do a hospital troop or even some school fates when they actually request us to come along, some of them you actually have to have a blue card for, just so the government can say, oh no, we've put him through all these tests and he came out clean, blah blah blah.
I have a blue card, and
I'm so glad I've got it. Don't get me wrong; it's going to make life so much easier.
Makes it easier for many situations, but
you'd be surprised how many parents they don't even know what a blue card is.
But you have to have different ones for each state. I mean, even the fact that you got
to have a different one for each group. If I've got one for that, I can own that because I'm a volunteer in the 501st. If I wanted to do something as me as Darkside Bricks, I'd have to get another one because I'm now paid to do what I'm doing.
Exactly.
So you've actually got to get a different one for every group that you're a member of.
Yeah, much.
It's completely retarded. It's so stupid.
You'd think once you'd pass the certification for one state, it'd be Australia-wide, but no.
Yeah.
Elizabeth
it should be a national recognised bloody, thing.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to bring that up because, I know that I've complained that some AFOLs have been rude to me when I first started, but I'm an adult, so... Yeah. But to any kids out there that want to do that sort of thing, anyone that might be watching this, you can't just contact someone, unfortunately. It just doesn't work that way.
It doesn't work that way.
It sucks.
Yeah. It's a thing, though, as far as sharing building techniques, the secrets, whatever behind the scenes, we've got to do that. If we have it to the point where, no, that's my secret building technique and whatever, no one will live it. The hobby just won't develop. It's like...
Exactly right.
I found the same thing. It's like... we often see those shows, Busting the Magician's Code, those type of things where they go out and actually, they don't wipe out all the magic tricks, but some of them, they show you how it happens and how it works.
Yeah.
And that's cool because it actually gives you more interest to go, well, hang on, now I've got to really look at how he's doing it.
Yeah, I've got to see how good this guy is at his sleight of hand and that sort of thing.
And Douglas just brought up a very valid comment. Yes, the sex offender list is nationwide now. Unfortunately, though, there is still gaps that people get through, mate. That's the problem.
And but the thing is, that might be nationwide, but the blue card list is not nationwide.
No. So
that's right.
So
even though I'm with the 501st, if I move back to New South Wales, I've got to apply for a New South Wales blue card.
Yeah,
Exactly.
even
which is
though
pretty
it's for
stupid.
exactly the same thing with the same group.
Yeah.
Anyway, so back to our sharing things. I noticed when I got into photography, a lot of photographers would not share the tips and tricks and the secrets, so to speak. And
Yeah.
I've made it my mission, which is actually part of the reason why I started teaching photography, was to teach people a little tips and tricks.
Yep.
Because there should be no secrets. People were very of a line that, oh no, if you teach them all the secrets, they'll take work off of us. Well, I'm sorry, if you're not lifting your game. I'm proud to say I've got people I've taught photography who now outshoot me and are making a damn good living out of it. And that's and they wouldn't be there without my help. As quickly as they could. They probably would have got there eventually, but they wouldn't have got there as quick as they did, I suppose, is what I'm trying to get at. I'm not patting myself on the back saying I'm the only reason they're there.
Oh yeah.
People are very talented, but they would have taken a lot longer to get there, and they now work at a very different level and in a different technique. So it's that's the way it goes. But it's the same when it comes down to Lego shows. I have no problems with showing people the tricky techniques or the things that you hide behind the scenes, those sort of things, because if they don't know, how are they going to do it? Like, I had many people ask me about the giant jam sandwich. Geez, there must be a lot of bricks in the back of that. No, it's not a solid structure. It's a framework building behind there, and then it's just clad.
Sorry, you're right.
No, you're right.
Say the same thing. When I had my table for the Bundaberg show, the Bundaberg event, it was just the 1 8-foot table, and everyone was saying, "Oh, is inside your raised area, is that all hollow?" And I actually, because normally I'd have it all pinned together so it doesn't separate. I actually had the very front corner separate, so I could angle it out and show people that it was bricks all the way around to support everything, and then inside is actually Duplo blocks. And people didn't have any idea that a 2x4 sits over 2 Duplo studs. And 3 Duplo blocks high is the same as 6 Lego bricks high. And as soon as you tell them that, they go, "Oh, well, all my kids' Duplo stuff that just sits there collecting dust, I can actually use with my Lego." And I reckon I probably copped a burning stare from behind. I don't think I did, but I felt like, someone was looking at me going, "Don't tell them things like that." It's like, no, I'm going to tell people everything I've learned. Absolutely everything.
Exactly.
I mean, you're right, Tim.
I was just going to say, it's like my Aboriginal culture, 40,000 to 60,000 years. We had an oral history. We hand our knowledge down. Why would I, if I have it, why wouldn't I pass it down to someone to help them in the hobby, so that they actually can better themselves? Like I've had, the YouTube community, like Iceberg and others, show me stuff, and Darren and ABC and other guys and girls show me stuff that I'm using now that I never would have used if they hadn't shown me those techniques.
There are plenty of guys AFOLs out there that will help you. I had, was it Ryan and Pete? They're actually on the stream chat on Facebook. When I was doing the Mad Max tanker, I came across part of that Mad Max tanker. Remember that I couldn't get right because I wanted the stripes to be brick built, and we
discussed that together, you and I.
Piece. I was chatting with them, and they were sharing videos with me and everything else, and they were trying to come up with ways of doing it. And between the three of us, we've Ryan worked it all out and came up with the way of doing it. And then I just put that into context with what I was doing, and I was able to do brick built pinstripes instead of having to use stickers.
Yeah, exactly.
Inside that tanker is a complete nightmare. Anyone that looked at it would go, "How the hell does that create that on the outside?" So and that's what I couldn't get my head around as being a new builder. But once he showed me that, and I physically did it with some bricks, completely wrong colors and everything else. But I had to do it manually myself because I've got to do things to learn things. And so that got me out of a huge pickle. And when this is finished and I do get around to doing the Mad Max thing, it's going to be phenomenal because of that information that I got.
Oh, hell yeah. I'm looking forward to that as well, Phil, when you've got that ready to go as well, mate. I'm really looking forward to see that in the flesh as well, mate, because that was something that you and I spoke about. We were going, like, you know, you were asking me, you know, what things, you know, did I know, and that helps the community, and you get that feedback, and you go, damn, I didn't look at it that way. If I can do it that next time, I will make that much more of my builds look that more cleanly done, and the lines match up.
Yeah.
And it will make a better build in the future for other things.
Anything that someone teaches me or information that they glean to me, I am going to pass on to the very, very first person that asks me. Yeah. I'm going to always make sure I pass on information. So if you've got a building technique that you don't want anyone to know, don't tell me, because everyone's going to find out about it.
Well, I'm not right that way.
I'm telling everyone right now.
I don't think AFL should be.
I'm going to share everything that I learn.
Good.
That's the way it should be. But it's interesting you commented about just building any color. I think that's a very important thing to remember when you're mocking something. So model of own creation, building your own thing. Don't get
this landing bay. My whole Mos Eisley table was a rainbow table at one point.
Yeah. Oh, really?
They were filthy, dirty, scratched, broken bricks. They were colors from everything under the sun.
Yeah.
But I had to build them because I needed to set out my streets and my layout. So you build what you've got out of what you've got.
Yeah. That's why I say to people, have a mock box of just random parts in front of you, because just grab it and use it. And yeah, it's
Sorry, you're right.
Just as long as you know the color is exchangeable for that part's exchangeable in the right color you need later on.
Yeah.
That's all.
I built myself a stand for my phone to sit on to use as a camera for these streams. And I used all tan bricks. And then I started doing this. And it's like, I know where I've got more tan bricks. So I told my wife, I gave her the stand. I said, reverse engineer this and build me this, and that you can use any bricks you want in there. And it was the shit bricks, pardon the French. And that's what she did. Yes, and she knows I hate rainbow builds. So that's my actual phone stand that she threw together. So now I've got to look at bright pink and lime green and red. And knows damn well that rainbows. But those bricks would end up in the bin or not getting used.
Yeah.
I found a use for those bricks. They're filthy, they're scratched, they're broken, there's cracks in them. You know what? That phone doesn't weigh that much. They can be cracked, they can be dirty, they can be filthy. No one sees it.
Yeah.
And I've given them a new purpose. So
repurposed, and you've got something that you're going to use for just that's going to be used by you. That exactly.
I can never fall asleep during a stream because that thing's so bright it keeps me awake.
Go on, mate. That's what I like to hear.
I hate looking at it, and it's that painful that I have to look at it. So, yeah.
One of my mates has built a phone cradle for his car out of Technic parts, and it's deliberately rainbow. And he actually siliconed it to the dashboard.
Nice.
Siliconing it to the dashboard. But anyway, but yeah. He's since reworked it when he changed cars, because he looked at the new car and he's gone, when I took it off, it wasn't such a good move. Now reworked it so the little slot at the top of the dash is a little sort of like a pocket to put things in. He's made a frame that sits in there and it goes in there, and you can still put stuff inside it, but it actually fits very nicely in there. So just a little tip for those who want something different to hold their phone in the car. Make it a Technic. Why not?
Douglas asked a question before. What was that, half an hour ago? Sorry, Douglas. As new sets come along, will I model buildings to enhance them? Oh, yeah. This table behind me might become finished, but it's only finished in Lego terms. If something comes out, or if I see something on a building and I go, that looks really cool, that would look great on this particular building, I will go out to the travel box that this will end up living in, and I will take out that building, I will modify it, and I will put it back. So, it's never going to be finished, but it's going to be show finished.
Always a work in progress.
It'll be event finished. Yeah.
Unless you're destroying it to make something new, they're never finished. You always tweak it.
Oh, hell yeah.
People have said, I've seen that before, and I've gone, have you?
Henry had
you saw it at I had someone see My Neighbours from Hell at a club meeting, and then they've gone, and when it came to brick benching, I've seen this before, and I've gone, No, it's actually been 100% pulled apart since Brickbench rebuilt, and it's completely different.
Yeah.
And then they've looked at it and I've gone, well, for a start, it's nearly 3 modules higher than what it was. Like it's in the original modules. I see, because it's been built. There's 2 more layers of brick in each layout to open it up and make it a bit taller. Because all they said was, oh, it's got a base plate underneath it now. And I go, no, that was just to make sure it stood up during display. I said the basic concept's the same. I said, but it's all been opened out a bit more. There's a lot more detail in it now than what there was. It's actually nearly doubled in part count. And then they had a closer look at it. And when I showed them photos of the original one compared, they've gone, oh, yeah, now we can see how you've doubled the part count. It's just gone crazy with the amount of parts you've got in it now to what it was before. Then the same person came along and saw it at Bendigo Bricks, and they've gone, God, you've changed it again. They'd actually taken enough notice this time that it changed between displays. So I said, oh, yeah, it's had another layer of bricks added to it, to each wall section, and now there's a lot more detail in it again. I mean, I haven't added it, doubled it, but it's got at least 20% more bricks in it than what it had before. Yeah. So it's sort of, they do change between shows. I won't be showing that one at any major shows again because I think it's done its duties. But for small shows, I'll take it along. I'm not going to pull it apart because it's something that's got a lot of hours invested in it, and it just sits in a box in between when it might get used. But there's stuff that I will continue to show at each show just because it's so damn good. I mean, you don't hide good builds unless it's a major show. Of course, you don't want to bring the same stale stuff out. I get really annoyed when people bring the same stuff year after year after year. I mean, tweak it a little bit, please. I'm not having a crack at anyone, but it's just when you've got, for example, models of cars, as an example. I'm not picking anyone here. I mean, cars, trucks, whatever. Try and put them into a scene. Don't have a blank table with just a pile of vehicles on it. Put some context to it. Like even if it's a facade of a street scene, it doesn't have to be detailed buildings. It's just got to be the frontage of the buildings. It doesn't take a lot of brick to do it, and it just takes it to that next level. And if you don't want to brick build stuff, at least print some cards or something to sit on. I mean, it's not, with displaying as vehicles, for example, if they're in minifig scale, put them each on a section of road plate. It's not a big deal.
It makes the world of difference.
World of difference to it just sitting on a bit of black bloody cloth like it normally does. I mean, it's just not a big thing. And it's like, I see it a lot with the Star Wars crowd, for example. They display their models, and I'm thinking, like, dude, if you just put the time to building a backdrop into these, and if you're not capable of doing it, do a joint display with someone else. Okay, I've got all these great models that I've built because I see people take the UCS sets or those sort of things and then do something different with them. They'll take them to another level with detail and whatever. But it really means nothing unless it's sitting in a sort of a diorama or something. So if you've got someone that's off the hook building the models, and you're not capable of building the backdrops because you either don't have the parts, and that's quite often the case. It's not everyone has a lot of parts available. Collaborate with someone else and build that scene to put it in. I mean, for most things, like you've done with your landing bay there, a landing bay or a hangar or something, those scenes can have a lot of detail in them without taking a stupid amount of parts.
Yeah,
you can add a lot of detail.
To make a landing bay out of three walls.
Yeah,
and you got a landing bay.
Yeah, and you don't even need 3. Two's quite often enough. So it's just build a corner.
Iceberg is in the chat. Hey, Iceberg.
Yeah, Iceberg. Howdy, hi.
Douglas, back to your question before about updating buildings. My cantina, Douglas was asking about. Will I update the buildings? My cantina's actually grown by 8 studs in length. From what it was to a month and a half ago. So that's part of the actual change on the table as well, is I've made it bigger.
Yeah. Wow, that's really good, man.
So I don't think you ever really finish.
No.
It can be show ready, and if I see something that I like the look of, if I can't do that in one sitting, if I can't do that change in one sitting, it'll go on the back burner and it'll be added to my to-do list.
Yeah.
And quite often, like when you've got something like it comes in sections. So you'll quite often you'll build an entire new section and work on it at your leisure rather than trying to rush it. And then when it's time, you just slot that whole entire section in. Even if it's a major duplication of what you've already got, if it's something you can't sort of just add the buildings onto as an example, that's how you do it. So it's one of those things. building modular like that has its advantages too. I mean,
yeah. Yes, Douglas. The Bith band actually has a stage that they actually stand on, and they're not on top of each other. Part of the 8 stud long one of the sides of the cantina, part of that 8 long stud section is actually a triangular stage that fills up that corner, and they're up on the stage, and it's got like the strobe lights and all that sort of stuff, the stage lights.
Yeah.
I like how you had one of the band members outside busking. Phil, that was bloody fantastic.
I've still got the 5th member outside busking because there was no work.
I love it. It's bloody hilarious.
It's pity Iceberg wasn't here earlier. He's into the whole Lego thing, and he's got his kid involved in it and everything as well. I would have liked.
Shout outs to Lego Spidey.
I would have liked his feedback on what we were talking about before, the message that I got and everything. You'll have to watch the stream back and post a message. Tell him again. I won't go through it all over again, but
no, just do a quick rundown.
Okay, real quick, just for Iceberg Bricks, because I'd like to get your feedback on it. Being a father of a
and an ex-cop,
not even a T-fole, is he? He's a Y-fole. A young fan of Lego. I got contacted by we'll say a minor. I reckon he's about 11 or 12 years old. Himself, his father, and his sister met me at a recent event that I did, and they loved my table and everything. And this young guy has contacted me and asked me if I can friend him on Facebook and share, mocking details and all that sort of thing, and help him with building his own stuff. And because of the way everything is nowadays and the way the world is, I've actually had to say no, that I can't. And I've had to provide a different way where he and I'd be able to talk. And I've had to ask him to make sure his father sees the message and, all this, just so everything's all above board. And the only reason I brought it up is it really annoyed me, because it's this sort of situation and the way the world is nowadays. You can't help people easily, especially young people. And I'd just be interested to see your take on it. Like, if your son was doing stuff like that, how you'd feel like if he'd contacted somebody, say that you weren't as into Lego as you are, if he'd contacted someone and wanted to go through stuff like that, what your thoughts are on that, or if you've ever been contacted by a minor who's asked for that sort of help because his father or mother or parents aren't into Lego. So I'd just be interested to see what your play on that would be. What your take on that would be. Leave it in a comment at the bottom of the when the stream's over, and I'll make sure Timmy sends me to it, and so I can check out your reply.
Yeah. Please put in the comment below, Iceberg, and we'll love to reply and let Phil know.
Reply to put in the chat, that's for sure.
No, we can do it. We can do it PM. It's all good. But Iceberg actually involved in a bit of a youth program, which is fantastic, and it's really, really good. And hats off to you, Iceberg. I love what you're trying to do. I love what your new role is, and respect you highly, mate. Respect you, your buildings and your city and that. And I love watching you and Lego Spidey do stuff together. And I hope it continues for many, many years to come, mate. That's my kudos to you, mate. Seriously.
I've been watching quite a few of Iceberg's videos, and I actually caught him on a live stream earlier today.
Yep.
So I was watching, the one that you guys turned up to, you and ABC turned up to,
Yeah, I turned up to that and said hi-de ho, it was all good.
So I've been watching a lot of his streams, his videos lately, and he comes across as one of the sort of people like our group,
He is, and I know he won't be embarrassed to say that he also, like you, Phil, reached out to ABC, and that's how the community grows. Right across from the US to Oz, up to HK up here. We are a Lego sort of friendly bunch in the community, and he's learnt some really great stuff from ABC and how to get started with a channel. Now he's going great guns, and he's got stuff happening, and it's great to see him doing the ice box, doing the free zone, doing the Let's Build stuff, the Lego Spidey stuff, and I really I really respect him highly, and I know he does, and he knows he's been concerned with my health issues, and I appreciate that in the community, that people give a shit that If I'm having a bad time with my health, they actually want to reach and say, dude, what's up? Are you right? Do you need anything? Are you building anything? And, you know, they're the type of people that, you know, we want to build this community to be. And I know he does. I know he has got a great connection with the DMV boys, and he's got the other guys with, you know, that are on the East Coast and that. And it's a lovely thing to see that we are there for each other.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
I've decided to finally go hunting for a lot of YouTube channels. I'm just watching vids of what people are doing with their stuff and that sort of thing. And Iceberg, along with a couple of others, I actually quite like some of them, like myself. Some people have a voice that can crack rock, and let alone the damage it does to your eardrums. Some videos you just can't watch because of the voices. But there's been a few so far that I've come across that I've quite liked, and Icebergs is one of them. And you can see it when he does stuff with his son. It really brings out the character of a person when they do stuff with their kids.
It's great, yes.
Videos, yeah.
Yeah, no, he's a top-notch bloke, and I've got to know him through this community, and I do regard him as a friend for the community, and I really respect that he always is concerned when I'm not having the best sort of time, and you know, his videos are great, and you know, somehow the DMV boys and even guys like Brick Smith, who's reached out to me in the community, some other people like Brickstar and that, who are really friendly and really wanting to, who have quite big Bricklink stores in the US in their sort of region, but are willing to sort of drop them a line. They'll say, oh, look, Tim, if you do this, use this part, it's this part number. If you want to buy from me, I'll knock a little bit off for the shipping to you. And, you know, that kind of thing really goes a long way when you're A, not well, and B, when you know that the actual freight from the US is not exactly cheap, but if they're willing to help you out, that makes it a lot of a bloody good difference.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh yeah, freight is ridiculous.
I've been watching a few of catching up on a lot of M&R Productions videos as well, but not the stock standard. Oh, this is what I thought of this set, that sort of thing. But his other videos, and he seems like a decent enough sort of guy as well to actually listen to it at the very least. But there's one other one that I'm actually quite enjoying, and he does a lot of Lego stuff with his kid as well. And I can't for the life of me think of the name of the channel now. I'll find it in a minute. Is it Brick Attack?
Brick Attack.
Yeah, that's it. He calls
Brick Attack. He's great.
His son calls minifigures mini fingers, and now he started doing it without thinking about it.
It's very cute. That I really think is adorable. I really think that's adorable.
I've been watching a lot of their videos, and he seems like a really decent guy as well, as far as watching him on video is concerned. So yeah, there's a few that I've found that I quite like.
Absolutely, yeah, agree, totally agree.
Yeah, Douglas, Brick Attack. Yeah, Brick Attack.
Yeah, Brick Attack. Very, very nice, very down to earth. Lego community member, and someone that really is lovely to watch build with the kids. Douglas also mentioned Alex Nuns. His stuff is amazing, absolutely amazing. Some of his stuff.
Okay, I'll have to find his channel.
Yeah, Lego Lady is another one. She builds with her child. She's amazing. She does some beautiful stuff. And not just, you would think typical girly stuff. She does some amazing brick-built houses out of her head and does amazing interiors, two double-story, three-story building houses and awesome garages and amazing interiors. Fantastic builder. I have to give shout-outs to her. And then look at stuff like someone like, who is it? She used to be called Spirit Particles. She's now called Flipping Particles. She's pretty good. She's quite a accomplished builder. She's done some amazing stuff. But I think ROB checked out with her Ninjago stuff, which is made like a Japanese garden and connected the Ninjago city to it, and now the docks, and in the process of doing all that kind of stuff. She's amazing. It's amazing to see the community and to see guys and girls and even T-Foles doing stuff, which is amazing stuff.
It's funny,
DMX.
out of all the channels that I've found so far that I've liked, I've found a few that I've just and gotten rid of.
Yeah, I understand.
The ones I've found that I've actually liked, I think there's 2 Star Wars channels. The rest are everything else to do with Lego. So
yeah.
But you'll find
I call myself a Lego Star Wars tragic.
Yeah.
We know, Phil. You're a resident Star Wars Lego expert. And next to you is James, and we love James. And he's very tired. He sent me a message that he was quite tired. I did get the stuff that he was, some of the stuff he was looking for that he asked me to pick up at Inns Point. So I'll be talking to him later in the week. I'll organise something. Darren, you and me and him maybe have a convo later in the week, mate.
Yeah, mate.
Does that sound good?
Just it is amazing how you pick up stuff from watching other people's channels. Though it mightn't be what you're interested in, but you pick up interesting building techniques, or it'll inspire you to try something a different way.
Yeah.
So I joined a couple of Micropolis groups, and while my Micropolis building style is very different to the way most of these guys build, I saw interesting parts usage, and through one particular building, I think I've got it. Actually got it here nearby. I normally always use glass in my buildings when I build them, but this particular build I did using the headlight brick and tilted on their side. So
my goodness,
that was just a different way of doing it. A lot of people use them as doorways, which is how I had been using them previously, but I'd never really using them as windows. And in this particular case, if you can get up closer, you can see that the blue stripe is partially covered by the window brick, because the window brick's actually laying on its side.
Yep.
So it's laying on its back. I've put a grey piece under the bottom, so it more or less looks more like a real building would. You've got a lintel underneath the window, and then the frame goes up, and so instead of it being a solid blue stripe going from one side to the other, it has a bit of a step in it. Yeah. And there's slightly less in the middle. So it just gave it a bit of an extra detail. Now, I had never really considered using the headlight brick as a window prior to that, because I usually always use glass in my windows. And so that was just, for me, a bit of experiment. When I showed one of the guys, he's gone, damn, I never thought of using them like that. And I use them all the time. And so he's now, he's not so much copied me. He's made a very different style of building, but he now uses those bricks on their back instead rather than on their face. So he's just, it sort of inspired him to try them in a different way too. And it's not a matter of copying other people's things. It's just a matter of getting inspiration. And that's why you've got to look around and do a bit of research. I mean,
that's like the landing bay. Curving the bricks, I'm getting the curve joins in between each brick, in between each plate and all that. And I've always, Lego goes together like that, there are no gaps. And trying to curve square bricks, my brain's going, there's gaps, and I've got to teach my brain, no, you can do this. This is allowed. This is a perfectly legal building technique.
Yeah, exactly. And for once you get your head around that, you actually then can do a lot of stuff.
It's just opened up all sorts of ideas in my head.
Exactly. But you do get that barrier at first. You go, oh, damn, it looks a bit, spacey. But then you step back and go, no, there are buildings that look like that. Shit, that's cool.
I've actually started. Normally I'd stand up and build my table so I can look down on what I'm doing and I can see that it looks right. I've actually started sitting in this little crappy 200-year-old school chair, so my head's at the same height as a kid.
Yeah.
Who's looking at my table, so I'm seeing what they're seeing from their angle. Because let's face it, I don't really care what the adults think of it. It's for the kids.
Oh, yeah.
So, I'm actually now finding myself sitting down when I'm building going, okay, is the kid going to look at that? Is that going to look okay to a kid? Because I automatically know what it's going to look like standing up because I walk past it 24,000 times a day. So I know what it looks like standing up. But, I'm actually started trying to look at it from a kid's perspective, not through their eyes or anything, but height-wise.
Yeah, the angle. I have to agree.
Hugely different.
On that angle, especially for a display for kids coming at a show, mate, it makes the world of difference. My first show over here, I had stuff too high and I had kids going, oh, mummy, can you hold me up? And I'm
Yeah,
like, oh,
yeah, I had the
shit,
same.
I've got to drop stuff down. And I've done that for this show. I've dropped
Yep.
stuff down so they can see it.
I had my canteen too far back from the front of the table, and kids
Yeah.
couldn't see all the aliens inside. So I've brought it up right up to the front now,
Yeah.
and sitting in the chair and looking. And I even hunched down to pretend I'm someone even smaller. Now
Yeah.
I can actually, they'll be able to see the aliens in that cantina because it's right up the front of the table now. So I had to learn that my first show wasn't just so I could, butter my ego with people saying, oh, that looks awesome, that looks awesome. I learnt so much about where to place things and how kids look at things. And, it's completely changed the way I looked at my table.
Oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah. It changed your whole perspective, yep.
I'm not normally a loud outgoing type of person until I'm comfortable with a group of people. But I'd have to tell anybody who's even remotely thinking about one day displaying at a show, just do it. The amount, if you're willing to take away from it, from the experience and learn more than just building techniques, but learn how people are looking at it, how kids see your table. Because I reckon 90% of adults would stand up while they're building, especially like a tabletop. And they wouldn't think to sit down and go, oh, hang on, I'm a kid now, I can't see that. I'm at the height of a kid, I can't see that.
Exactly. And when I got that many response from when I heard the kids both speaking Chinese and English, I'm like, oh shit, I got to change something here.
Yeah.
And when now I'm doing that for this show, I'm sure I'm going to get kids go, oh wow, there's a fire truck in the station, and he's got it's a Hong Kong fire truck, and it's not just it's not just some Lego set, and he's got a brick built Hong Kong police car, and all this stuff that they'll be able to see because I've dropped the level down.
Yep.
And I actually purposely got a lower size table so that they will have a great perspective across the city that I'm going to display. That is going to make, I reckon, a massive improvement to the kids' viewing pleasure.
Yep. And it's funny because it's things that you would have thought would have been common sense. Put your low buildings at the front, your high buildings at the back, so you're not hiding stuff behind them and that sort of thing.
Yeah,
doing this landing bay, because it's so big, I've now found myself even almost sitting on the floor, like on my knees, looking at different angles. Like if I'm standing here looking at the table and I turn my head that way, I can actually see behind the landing bay.
Yeah.
So as I'm walking along, everything behind the landing bay disappears like it will because the thing's friggin' huge. But then if you turn and look 45 degrees the other way, you'll see something that you didn't see behind the cantina. Even though the cantina's low, it's still high enough to hide a minifig. So it really opened my eyes to placement and for what kids actually see. Hearing so many kids saying, I can't see the speeder inside the mechanics. Can you lift me up, Dad? It's like, right, that's got to move because that was right at the back of my table. Yeah, I've learned so much that's not actually building; it's displaying that I've learned.
Yeah, I love how you added that in, Phil. That was a bloody good touch to put that mechanics workshop for the speeder. And now you're going to change it so kids can get that perspective and look in and maybe get a glimpse of the dyno or get a glimpse of.
It's actually
that's going to be awesome.
It's right at the front corner of my table now.
Yeah. Oh, dude, good on you.
So for many years, I was a landscape gardener and designer, and one thing you have to learn with that is you have to create rooms inside a garden, so to speak. Even though they're outside, you create what they call rooms.
Yep.
And you lead people's eye around a corner. You've got to lead them through a doorway almost to make them see around the corner. So they can't see it all at once. So you've got to look at this when you lay something out too. As someone walks around something, there should be that little hidden scene they find behind the canteen, or even if it's a couple of guys having a punch-up or whatever. It just doesn't matter. It's you've got to have those other little scenes in there that are hidden that you don't see straight away. Anyway, just getting back to different building techniques, and especially your curved one there. I just picked up a random bag of bricks the other day and just happened to be the first color I came across, and I built this.
Oh, what?
Hang on.
Oh, my God, Darren.
Hang on, stop moving it. What's it built out of?
2 by 1.
The 1x2s that you set off to each other because they will slightly bend over it.
That is awesome.
That isn't as small as you can go. You can go slightly smaller than that. I've seen people do it a little bit smaller, but that is under a fair bit of stress as it is. But as you build to a bigger radius, it actually gets less under stress.
Yep.
I have played with a slightly bigger one, but that's I couldn't bring that in because it's actually a lot bigger. That's the other one sits on about 432 by 32 base plates just. I was playing with it a bigger diameter. But, yeah, I just grabbed the first bag of 2x1s I came across, which happened to be that colour. And I was just playing with it because I've seen other people do it. I thought, yeah, I'm going to have a go at that. I wanted to see this, just playing with it. And it is interesting, though, that, it's actually hard to get it round, believe it or not.
Yeah.
I think it just doesn't. When you put it to its tightest, I know one of our Mugs members, Sue-Ann Barber, she took one she built to the tightest tolerance to the big show in Denmark. I can't think of the name of it now. Scarenback, yeah, that's the one. And because she built it to the tightest tolerance, in the cold weather, it wouldn't actually join together.
Oh no!
What joined together in Australia didn't join together over there, so she actually had 2 bricks into each circle.
Australia stays in Australia.
Pretty much. So that was a bit of an interesting insight into the fact that what you thought worked didn't, because of temperature actually made a difference, because she had it that tight in the tolerance. Because she deliberately made it as tight as she could make it to make the circle as small as she could to show that this is as small as you can go, and got there and had to add 2 more bricks in it because it would not join up. It just kept exploding. Every time she tried to pull it in to make the last joint, it would just explode and go all over the place. And when you have it under that much tension, bricks can go flying like 10, 15 meters.
Yeah, yep. I saw at the event that I did in Bundy, there were 2 different styles of tower. One was a friend's tower and one was on another display. And they were both about the same, circumference, about that.
Yeah.
But they used 2 different techniques. One was the 1x2s, and another one used was it 1x3s? But no, it was 1x2s, but it had a 1x1 round brick, and you could, and as the 1x2 round brick got put on, it actually worked its way up the tower like that, and like diagonally.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's another interesting technique.
And it looked really good.
I will do a little section. I know I have got sections of that already built, but I'll just grab some random play.
Yeah, they were 2 different ways of doing that, the whole round thing.
Yeah.
But they were on a lot smaller scale than what I'm attempting to do with this
the
one.
2x1, the 2x1 and the 1 round is a very good technique, and I'm giving up another one here. I do a lot of that in random coloured translucent parts to make stained glass walls.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you curve stained glass wall, and if you can get sunlight behind it or some form of lighting behind it, it looks stunning.
Yeah.
It really does. It's very effective. And I'll just put a corner of that in a building. I'm not trying to build churches or anything like that. Just it looks really cool in certain buildings, and it's you can, and because you don't even have to make it a curve, you can make complex curves. You make S walls, S-shaped walls, and that. So it's just a matter of what you want to do with it. But I've done some really cool stuff with that.
Yeah.
I
don't know about setting up on the floor, Douglas, but I didn't even think to ask because they automatically just had tables everywhere, so they had it all set up.
But that is a thing though with shows. We all seem to get stuck on the same blow molded tables at one side, one height, because that's just the standard thing most shows supply.
Yeah.
Well, we had a couple of guys. I'll give my mate Joshua a bit of a shout out. He put his set up in between 2 normal tables and had a drop down section in the middle to put his bridge and water section in.
Yep.
And so the bridges went from the table level, and the bridge was like down in a hollow with the river and the water underneath it. And it worked quite well. But boy, did they have some trouble getting it all set up to the right height. Like there was a lot of shims involved. Next time round, I'll have screw adjusters on it apparently. But for this particular year, there was a lot of little shims used, and because floors can be very uneven too, so it's very hard. Another thing too, if you're setting up over multiple tables or some layouts, even one table, if it's a fair bit of weight, it pays to bring your own board or something. And an interior household door works very good for this purpose, to put on top of the table to level the surface out.
Yep.
So they're a good way to do that too. Interior doors are very light and yet very strong for what they are. Just the volume of them, unfortunately, but
I'm using the good old blow mold Bunnings tables.
But we found with the giant jam sandwich, the weight involved in that, it was actually sagging the table in the middle. So I actually got a piece of black skinned form ply, and we sat it on that. And that also enabled us to clamp it to it, because that thing was still climbing up at the corners, even though it was so to make it sit right, I had to actually clamp it to it. And there's people in the chat that have seen it clamped to the table too. So it's but yeah, exactly. You use doors on the table, it makes it easy. As far as leveling them out to make them fit together, you can use biscuit joins, and you don't glue them in, because if you glue them in and you snap them, you'll never get them out again. So you'll have to actually route them. But if you just use biscuit joins and stick them in loose, that just enables them so that they sit and match together, and that, so they don't move apart and whatever. But, I'm actually making a set of interlocking boards at the moment. I've bought a 45-degree miter bit which has an interlocking joint, and I'm going to be making all my boxes with that, because it's a ridiculously strong joint when you glue it up with the right stuff. And I'll be doing that, but I'm also making all my boards to lock together with using that joint as well, because it joins continuously along its entire edge, and it makes it really good. So yeah, but if you are going to take things like boards to your own displays, make sure the corners are rounded off, then there's no sharp corners, etc., or else a lot of shows won't let you take them. So you've just got to be very aware of that. So just ask first before you decide you're just going to rock in with it and just go, but it needs to be on this. Well, sorry, sir, because you didn't round the edges off, you can't have it. And you'll be very disappointed.
Okay, that's the ammo station front done.
Yep.
And of course, the ambo's ambulances will be there. I've got the office upstairs now. And as you see, I don't give a crap the colour inside. I really do not care what the colours I got inside the actual ambo station. It's mainly because the ambulances will sit in the front of that. You won't see that, and it won't matter. So I really, for my city, I just want that sort of checker sort of pattern at the front. I got the ambo sort of medical symbol up there on the top, and that's all I really give a crap. I don't care about the side colour. I don't care the overhang. I've got a actual base that I can clip on to actually hold that flush to the table. And
make some graffiti out of it. Make some graffiti out of it. Yeah, Douglas, those rubber corner things are fine. If you stick something over just so that people don't bang their head on it, that's fine. I've actually seen a few builders quite successfully, where they've run out of bricks, actually in the side of buildings put multiple coloured stuff in and have a little minifigure there with a paint roller, putting on some graffiti on the wall or something, or
I was actually thinking of doing that. I've got a minifigure which got I actually got a hold of. Okay, you might be block your ears, Darren. Yes, it is third party, but it is a spray can that is from a Brick Arm set, and I do have that, and I was going to put that on the actual side of the building of a teenager defacing the actual building.
Yeah, I actually saw quite a good one that someone did, where they had their railway bridge with that had been graffitied on, and they've got someone up there painting out the graffiti with a roller. It's been done quite well. It looks really good. Yeah.
You could use the paintbrush. You could have a minifigure with the paintbrush and mixing tray from the series. The Series 12 Artist minifig.
Oh, yeah, true.
I think it's Series 12.
That's a good thought, mate. Thanks, Bill.
There you go. There's an out of the ballpark thought from a Star Wars person. I can actually tell you what.
There's a lot more that Phil, mate.
I know. There's an artist mini. I think it's.
There's a lot more to you than just Star Wars, Bill. We know you're a hidden flower that's blossoming. We enjoy your input, mate. We really do.
Yeah, and. As Douglas has said, a large Hogwarts needs to be low to see into it properly, and that's right. A lot of models do. So don't get hung up on the tables that are provided at shows. If you need something different, make sure you use it, but just make sure it's safe and you get permission to use it. So yeah. It's and what I like to is I also see it shows those people that build remote control things and then drive them around the shows all day. That's cool, you know. I think
that makes sure they're not on the bloody same frequency as some other object.
That's the only thing. You got to make sure you're on a different channel. But I saw one kid come to a show and he had a truck he'd built in fairly large scale, and he was like, he was about probably 7. So I don't think he would have been that, probably 6 to 7. And it was just it was a rainbow truck, you know, but he put a bit of string on the front of it and he was towing it around the whole show. And I thought that was really cool. You know, he just dragged it around behind him like a pool toy. It was a cool thing, you know.
Nice.
Why not? It's a cool thing. So just do what you want. You know, don't get hung up on what everyone else thinks. Do your own thing and do it well. Is the point? I think. You know, I think I see too many people get hung up on, it's got to be perfect or whatever. Some of the best builds I've actually seen have been just like, we've got a member who got crap laid on him at one show for bringing this truck in, and it's deliberately being made out of very, very trash secondhand parts because it's designed to look like it's just been working in the outback. And you know, a few members, look at his build. It's all built of really crappy secondhand stuff. And dude, he's got new Lego. He did that very deliberately. He went and found that was
one you were telling me about.
Yeah, he found the trashiest stuff he could find to make it look like it had just been, you know, months and months in the desert and hadn't had a wash. You know, so that was his. You know, he's built the same truck in perfect stuff. That's not the point. He built it to actually look grotty, and that was a good thing. So don't. It's horses for courses. You know, we do keep our Lego pretty pristine, but then the kids go, I can never keep my Lego looking that good. No, well, you don't have to. You know, we had a young lad brought a display along to Bendigo Bricks, and he doesn't have pristine bricks. And he built a mechanic's garage, and he had a couple of cars which had pristine bricks in them because they haven't been displayed much. But his actual garage was made out of all really, really tired, you know, brick that he's picked up secondhand around the place, and it actually looked better because of it.
My table's not all brand new bricks. I've got a few different shades of tan in there, I can tell you. And they're not just dark tan and tan. There's a few different shades of actual tan.
Yeah. And that can actually add, though, when you're building landscapes, that can actually add to it.
Yeah, it actually does.
You just got to be a little bit selective on how you use it sometimes. But yeah, I've got red, a lot of red for a big fire station I'm building, and I have had to cut a lot of brick out of it because it's just so many different shades of red. You don't realise it. I've got about 15 different shades of red.
Yeah, I'll never build anything blue for that exact reason too.
Yeah, blue's another one that's hard to match up as well for that reason. Yeah, but
speaking of fire trucks, I rebuilt this yesterday. That's my little flatbed ute.
Yeah,
which has got the I got the little at the back. I got the tray that comes down. I got the breathing apparatus in the back, and that's my RFS sort of senior officer, say inspector, and I rebuilt that from rebuilt that from both classic brick and also new brick. The camera probably can't see it, but this grey here is quite faded. It's actually not as crisp, and the white wasn't originally that wasn't actually white, that was grey as well. So that shows you I've had some old pieces of Lego to actually put into a truck that looks like it's been through the bloody works and through the bush on a bushfire. So when I show that, people are going to go, oh look, it doesn't look new. It's not meant to.
Exactly. Exactly. So it's not all about having
a few fire trucks that look like that, Darren. My Cat 1 RFS or CFA tanker, it's got some really almost orange to red to light red coloration in it because it's an old Cat 1. That's the whole point of it.
Yeah. Yeah. So don't get hung up and you don't have all new pristine bricks. Yeah,
so I think people who get hung up, it has to be pristine. if you're doing something, you want weathering on buildings, you want weathering on vehicles, go for it. Go for it. And like what you've got, Phil, with a desert scene like what your Star Wars scene is, you want some context, you want some texture, you want some coloration to build that scenery into it, mate.
Yep.
And that I reckon makes it look that much bloody better. And how you bled the darker reddish brown into the tan and the other tones of the tan looks so bloody good. I love that cliff face. It was so well done.
My wife actually said to me, like, when we started pulling everything apart and to make the two tables out of the one,
yeah,
she said, why don't you just leave the mosaics like it is and just expand the desert out to have more desert scenes? And I looked at her, it's like, but you need mosaics. She goes, yeah, but you can't build buildings. You're no good at man-made things. Do the scenery. You're really good at doing the natural, like, sand flows. And she goes, you've always been like that. You can do a tree, and you've never done a tree before, and you did that, the ones on that Dagobah mark. She goes, just stick with the natural stuff. You're really good at doing that. Putting tracks in the desert and that sort of thing. Don't build buildings. You're no good at those. It's like, oh
no.
Thanks, hon. I know what she meant. She meant by comparison, because I do prefer to do. If I could do a Lego hillside, countryside, dairy farm type thing, I could do that, and ace that, I reckon, because I do like doing the more natural terrain.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to do that for this show, but I'll leave it for the before I leave here. There's a small club show that I will do. I want to do an Aussie scene, which I got the kangaroo printed tile for. I'm going to do a Aussie bush scene of kangaroos crossing over a bushfire scene before I leave for our little club show, because I've always wanted to do that. I've got enough materials to do the trees, the flames, the fire trucks, the people fleeing in cars from the actual bushfire, and I've got a good design I found from a builder actually in WA who actually has got a design of brick-built kangaroos, which look pretty damn good. I forget his name. I think Cherie's friend from WA knows him quite well. I can't think of his name at this point, but I will put in the comments below at some point when I recall. But he's done a wonderful brick-built red kangaroo and female red kangaroo, and I'm going to put that in the scene for the last club show that I'll do here. And I really want to do landscape stuff too, which I've actually taken inspiration from you, Phil, for doing your well, because I like how you've done your desert stuff, and I want to do something that's quintessentially Australian to do my last sort of our own sort of small club show before I leave HK.
Yeah, I think someone needs to do a Lego Ayers Rock.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Uluru.
Sorry, Uluru. Yes.
Uluru.
Anyway, we were talking about curved brick techniques before.
Yeah.
Here's the one using the 2x1s and the curves, so you can actually bend that.
Yeah. Yep.
Really well, and it works quite well.
That works just as well with plates as it does with bricks. Yeah.
Yeah. It works even better with plates, actually.
Yeah.
I've used this a lot, as I've said, making with transparent brick to make stained glass walls. Works really, really good. I'm going to build a much larger lantern, a round lantern, sometime in the future with it, just to use as a display, and that will have a pattern in it. That won't just be random. That will actually be built as a pattern.
That'd be a really cool thing to do for a Green Lantern.
Yeah.
With trans green.
Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The problem is sourcing the parts, because obviously, as you know, not all the colors are available in trans parts in the plates and rounds.
Yep.
Some are, some aren't.
Well, that's why I thought of the Green Lantern.
Yeah.
Green, you should be right to.
Yeah, so you've got to you really got to check out what colours are available before you set off on a major project like that.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, that's something I'm looking at in the future, is building a lantern that's round and it'll be displayed, so you walk around it and see it. It'll be a different picture from each side of it. The theme will go around in a circle as you walk around it. But Yeah, and that will probably have some trans neon parts mixed into it as well, with a bit of UV lighting as well, just to make them glow as well.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
It's one of those things, you sort of, once you learn these techniques, you're surprised you do them. I mean, I've seen this technique not just used on its side that way. I've seen people use it on its side that way to make roof shapes.
Yep.
And it works quite well. So they've made very, very architectural roof shapes with it. And hats off to the guys that do it, and then it works really well. And it's also a very textural technique too, so it works quite well.
Yeah.
So yeah.
With what I was saying before about my wife saying that I suck at building human-made buildings and constructs, it's I really like that she does that. She's my rock when it comes to that sort of thing. It's like I stand back and go, God, that looks awesome. And she goes, yeah, 5-year-old could do that. It's like, oh, thanks.
Yeah, grounding. That's what a good partner.
Yeah, she grounds me. And she
brings you right down to
she
earth,
goes, a 5-year-old's not going to do that desert in the background. Not any day of the week. Some adults won't do that desert in the background. Not like you can. But don't build any more buildings. It's like, all right, okay. So
I won't fund any more buildings.
Yeah.
You should cut the tap off like my missus, mate.
But it is very grounding, and I do actually appreciate it because she's the only one that could be that honest with me.
Yeah, a lot of people.
I wouldn't listen to anyone else that said that. I'd just say, "Oh, you're a bit of a dick," and move on. But I can't say that to her, so yeah. It's the one person that can actually get away with saying that to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that I think that criticism that you got about with your buildings, I think what you've actually done with the actual the docking bay there, that landing bay, it looks. I think you really have stepped back, thought about it, initiated it, and gone. Let's give it a crack. Let's really give it a crack. And now I think you've got something that's going to be something really bloody worthwhile, mate.
Yeah. Mel's actually elaborated on why I shouldn't build buildings. She just thinks that the ones I've got, she likes the sizes, the shapes, and the arches and all that sort of stuff. I've got that part of it right, but she thinks they need more piping on them and just more.
Yeah, the finer details. My missus actually picked it out, and she goes, "Tim, why doesn't the hospital have a fire escape?" And I'm like, "Oh shit!" Oops.
Yeah. Little things like that, and I said to her, it's like, yeah, okay, I could spend hundreds and hundreds of dollars on each individual building, getting all the most elaborate piping work and doing all of that for every building, but at some point, it gets lost. The overall table gets lost because of the detail. Does that make sense?
It can do. I've seen people that build modulars, for example, have taken the bog stock Lego modulars and then added little details like guttering and downpipes, air conditioning units on the roofs, things like that. And they just take them to another level, and you've gone, well, Lego would have never have done that simply because the part count is stupid, or it's just that it's made the building techniques hard.
Yeah.
Fire escapes. I found when my missus picked on me about the hospital not having a fire escape. Oh shit.
Now,
how do I do that? And when I built the diner, there was a wonderful, easy way of doing a fire escape, and I never had thought of that technique. Yeah. Now I know that technique. I can retrofit the hospital, do a good bloody fire escape, and it's done. It's done.
Well, a lot of my little add-on, like little machine boxes and air conditioning and vents and all that sort of stuff, are the most basic way you do it with Lego.
Yeah. Just
in the last week, when Cherie and Sean were building the docks in the city, and Sean showed me one of the he was showing everyone what he'd done before they finished the stream, and as he turned it, I saw something. I thought, what the hell is that? And it was the 2x2 turntable base.
Yeah.
On its side, used as an air conditioner vent, and it's like it's perfect. I only have to put that on one or two of my buildings, and it completely changes them.
Yeah.
So it's little. I can understand where she's coming from. It's like I've got the air conditioning vent there, for argument's sake, which is your stock standard vent. Your modified tile or your modified slope with the vents cut into it.
Yeah.
But take that away and change that out for just one or two of the buildings have that round turntable on its side. Different completely different build all of a sudden. So I can understand where she's coming from. I have done them quite basically, but at the point when I started doing them, that was awesome for me because that was new.
Well,
But
it's interesting.
I can see myself now that there's heaps I could change.
It's interesting that turntable base. We see it on the pad wall. Yeah, that's the other half of it.
Yeah, that's the
two parts of the pad wall. We see the turntable on the wall as two separate parts, and you'll find a lot of people just buying whole cups full of the bases because they found alternatives for them.
And that's why,
and so I asked one of the guys one day, what's the ratio of the people buying complete turntables? And he's gone, we're selling about 3 boxes of bases to one box of tops.
Yep.
So someone out there has found some very good uses for the turntable bases if they're selling them in that sort of disproportionate.
Well, they'd work for just a round window too, like on your
they do. Yeah.
Sorry, on your micro builds or whatever you call them. They'd work for round windows.
Yeah. Sorry? Yeah, I've actually got Micropolis. Yeah, I've got
sorry, that's the one.
I've got a building that's actually utilising those at the moment. So that I'm in the process of building, but I'm not sure.
Seeing it on this Ninjago building as an event, it's like, oh my god, why did I not see that?
Yeah,
until you actually see it in position, my mind just didn't think of it.
Douglas has hit the head. The Taj Mahal uses that part in a rather unique way. So.
That's why I bought the Taj Mahal. I got so many thousand of those pieces because I've always wanted a quantity. And as soon as I bought the bloody Taj Mahal for the parts, I didn't buy it for making the Taj Mahal. I've got those parts. But you know what? You know the thing that gave me the kick in the guts. A week later, guess was on the bloody pad wall. Guess what's on the bloody pad wall? I was pissed off. I was totally pissed off. And the other part that's good is
your video's just gone dead on YouTube, dude.
Really?
This video is unavailable. It just went off then. Hang on,
really?
I'm refreshing.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, it's back. If you refresh, it comes back.
Oh, okay, good. Because I just had to hit my refresh and it's back on my thing.
Yeah, no, I just had the screen full of snow and said this video is unavailable.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I just had to refresh.
That part can be used for struts to actually do stabilization for cranes. You can use it for microphones. You can use it for so many bloody things. It's amazing.
Yep, I have a lot of them. But that's the actual steering wheel I use in my trucks.
That's what I went looking for. Darren, when you told me about that, I went digging in my stock and I found it because I'm going to do that for my trucks after you suggested it, and I thank you for that.
Because if you put that into a vehicle, either if you're going to put it centrally as it normally would, you put a jumper plate on it, and then you put it on a tilting hinge brick and you tilt it back, it will actually sit in the hands of a minifigure. So their hands actually sit on the steering wheel, which they don't do with the standard one. So that's why I use it. I use it a lot for that. All my trucks have that steering wheel in them. So it's just a good way to do it. Great way to do it.
Another good one I saw, which I thought was quite ingenious, I didn't think of, and it'd work on a fire truck too, I reckon, or any sort of crane. It's only basic, but I actually saw it on a film camera trolley, a Lego built film camera trolley. 2x2 radar dish with a 3-length bar. Ooh. So you put the 3-length bar through the radar dish, so it looks like a big landing pad type, like foot.
Oh yeah.
And then just use your vertical clip on a 1x1 tile. Clip that onto that, and then just clip that onto the side of your vehicle, and you got the stabilizing stand.
Oh, brilliant!
Yeah,
and that'd work on a fire truck. A basic way of doing it, but that'd work on a fire truck.
And that works all right. And again, if you're
an electrical crane or a cherry picker or anything like that.
And if you're building something that's just be okay. If you're building something that's played and not played with, that's a very good way around it. I also quite like using a hinge plate or something like that to make stabilizing arms that fold down from the side and out as well. Yep. But you don't see many vehicles use that type of stabilizer anymore because they have a tendency of folding up accidentally.
Yeah.
So most of extending out riggers with a hydraulic jack in the end because then it can only give so far before it'll fall over. But on the back of Backhoes, as an example, they still use it that way, though, with the fold down on the angle. So it works well on the back of that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, little things like the radar dish, the three length bar, and the clip with horizontal, the plate with horizontal clip. That's extremely basic, but to me, that's just friggin' amazing. And then when someone shows me the advanced from that, it blows my mind. So I'm quite happy. I'm still in that baby phase with Lego. I'm seeing the basics of doing something, and then I get shown the advanced version of that, and it's just like, hello.
Well, I love it. I love it when we have shows. You walk up to kids that are playing at the build tables, and you'll come along, and they're playing along, and you say, "Okay, now I've seen what you've done there. Okay, that's fine. I'm just trying to find a different coloured plate to do this with." And you show them this technique where you join things like. Now, it used to be an illegal build. I've been doing it ever since I was a kid. I don't care. An illegal build to me is when you start cutting and hacking pieces. When if that's still within the system to my mind. Then the other one you show them is, as we did with the other bricks before, where you actually make a hinge. So you just use hang on, I'll just find some 2x4s. It's the easiest way to show it. Yeah, here. I'll see if I can find a couple of different coloured ones. Right.
Yeah.
So this is another technique I love showing kids at shows because it really makes them think outside the box. And they generally pick up on it straight away and use it. Is where you make a hinge joint like this. So you can do that.
Oh, yeah.
And as soon as you don't show them anything other than that. You just show them that one particular join. And next minute you see basically round towers going up that are like 2 meters tall. Yeah, they were just yeah, cool. This is cool. And because in a tower situation, with that brick sitting out to the front, it looks like a balcony.
Yeah.
So where they were building square towers before, and it was like, they do that, and next minute they've got this really sculptural shape, and it looks really cool. And I've seen the same building basically replicated time and time again, but by different kids, because they just take that basic concept and go, right, now how small can I build it?
Yeah.
I haven't seen very many kids take it to a bigger size and then go, oh, if we just ease it out a little bit and make a bigger rounded cylinder. I've seen a couple do it, but it's usually the older ones. But, I've seen that happen. Another thing I like going to is when they have the build tables, quite often they'll have a vehicle building section where they'll build vehicles and they have a slope that they race them down. And I love getting to some of the kids' ears and going, right, especially the ones that aren't doing very well. I've got to look here. There's a few tips in making this work well. And then you tell them that, hey, use less wheels, use bigger wheels, and make sure that you've got bricks sticking outside the wheels so that if it hits on the edge, the wheels don't catch the edge and slow it down.
Yeah.
So it's got bricks on the edge, the bricks will slide. And I've seen a couple of kids, you just give them a few basic tips, and where they were losing 5 minutes before, the next minute they're building the fastest cars on the slope. And it's just that they need a couple of tips, because quite often the first thing everyone does is build things with tires hanging out everywhere, and and then they hit the side and they just come to a dead stop. So you sort of say, think of a Dodgem car, but no rubber down the side, just if it hits the side, just keep going. And it's interesting to see. So I love having a bit of a quiet word in your ear occasion. You sort of nudge the parent in the arm and say, hey, let's just make this win. And then the kid has his first win and he's over the moon. Hey, won this first. It's like, it's great. And it's those sort of interactive things that shows are really cool. We do occasionally get someone who will come up with that for a major show or something like that for a major show. I'm actually looking now with the likes of the boost systems and stuff like that, Mindstorms and that. I'm still waiting for someone to build some sort of slope track system completely from Lego. Don't go around and build it out of timber and then run the vehicles on it. Make the whole damn lot from Lego. Yep. And have maybe some jumps or something in it to make it just a little bit different. But at the end of it, like they all drop off a gate. So you have drop gates like they have on a motocross track, for example, to make them all start evenly. But at the end, they're all on times with displays. So it's actually timed.
Darren, you got to check out. You got to check out a Japanese builder, Orikashi Shikanari. He does that, and it's insane from Osaka. He is amazing. I'll send you the link after because you'll watch his stuff and it's fucking phenomenal. He is a wizard at that.
Yeah. So it's just great to see you get kids that just do some random builds, and if they can sort of test it like that. We've had guys that use pullback motors, for example, and they ran in a slot on the track the way it worked, and that was cool, but he had it so that you had to stop within a zone. So it was a matter of, that made it a little bit trickier. So it wasn't a matter of who got over the line first, it was a matter of who managed to stop within the zone. That made it a little bit tricky. That became a matter of you had to work out which size wheels worked, how far you pulled it back. And yeah, so by the time you had 3 runs, you sort of worked it out. But it was, some of the adults had a challenge. And yeah, once a few elbows had been bent, that became very challenging.
I just realised the time. I've got to head off, guys, because I've got to get up early in the morning.
Yeah, I think we better.
Okay, mate. Thank you for coming along. We'll might as well pull the pin officially then if you're going to toddle off. Thank you, everyone, for coming along. Thank you to ABC for dropping in. Thank you to RRB. Thank you, Darkside. Thank you, Darren. And everyone in live chat, thank you, Icy, for coming on. Iceberg Bricks. Thank you, Douglas McBricken, Spongo, Henry, and all the others, and any other sandbaggers who've been watching this stream. I've been Timmy T. You've been on the Super Sunday Lego stream. We'll be back in the house next week. A little bit tired and flustered because we're taking our gear to the show, but we will be hopefully back on. Not much Lego because I'll be at the show, but I will be trying to put some vids up during the consecutive week after that. And keep on bricking, keep on building, and keep that brick dream alive. We'll see you next week. Thank you all for coming along.
See you.